Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Guild Wars 2 Pro League for North America. I am Joe Storm Noah, and back with me for Week 7 is Christian Thomaser. The final week of regular season play for North America here. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, actually, surprisingly, still a lot to be decided. Basically, I mean, we're talking everything is up for grabs at the moment. Seeding for season finals, a battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, another battle between 6th, 7th, 8th. I mean, there's still a lot to go on today.
There is a lot still going on with these 4 matches we have headed your way. Let's take a look at the season schedule. As a reminder, of course, Monday, May 23rd here, Week 7. We do have a bit of a break until the Season 2 Finals on June 25th. Game number 1 about to get underway here on the Battle of Kylo. Let's go ahead and take a look at some opening splits here and see what we're going to be having on this first map of our first series in the final set of the regular season. Final week of the regular season, rather. Dalton heading over to the windmill. It looks like Kenya for himself heading to that mansion. Both Revenants actually taking a bit of an interesting detour towards that mid node, looking for something perhaps, trying to port up top. We'll head back into the game now and take a look at what Aerox and Eternity are going to be doing. They're heading towards Dalton, or actually Eternity looking for that 1v1. We talked earlier, that's exactly what these Warriors need to be doing.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be taking it with the NG, though, and that's kind of a strange matchup. Sometimes, I mean, it typically looks like it's essentially one-sided no matter what. It just depends on which side. I mean, you see some Warriors just absolutely decimating some of these NGs, but you see it very much the other way as well, sometimes even as well. But Kenya already took that 1v1 against Zerko. They just claimed the mansion, so they're already going to get a little bit of a point advantage. In the meantime, though, at this mid-fight, I mean, just chaos being unleashed on both sides here as Hypno has already gotten fairly low here. Dalton over in that 1v1 actually is losing to Eternity and actually killed off by Aerox, who +1 that late there. So they're going to be able to pick that kill off as well as get that windmill. So
This is a pretty good start for these guys.
Yeah.
Regardless, Hypno is a big target here at this mid node. Needs to be careful. He's just in the midst of this fight, looking for some pressure down onto Devil of the Mist, who's, oh man, look at the condies that have just been loaded onto Hypno. Not even able to get his heal off. He will be taken into the downstate. So is Trick. That's 2 off the board here for E-Dream. And it looks like Gems and Tonic trying to clean up this first team fight here at the Clock Tower.
Yeah, and they're going to be trying to work themselves back in because, I mean, this is the thing, is that E-Dream was looking so good just moments ago, and now they're sitting with 2 people down. Kenya about to fall as well to Devil, and he does go down to the bleed from Tau, and now he's going to be getting stomped. They're going to lose Mansion. Clock Tower already capped. Gems and Tonic looking very healthy across the board with a 2 cap.
That's 3 cap right here. Unless Aerox should be able to pick up a D cap for himself. Zuko did, oh man, no lightning flash available. He was not able to get there in time. So Gems and Tonic, a really excellent opening for them, taking both these side points and looking for another fight here at the Clock Tower, really spreading E-Dream apart.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of maintaining composure despite the absurd amount of damage that comes out from this E-Dream setup here. I mean, putting them on this kind of staggered respawn is definitely going to help them, because that means that there's a lot less burst for them to worry about across the board, given that there's always someone missing in those team fights or in those splits there. So Devil and Mist getting incredibly low. Imagine if Eternity was in that fight right there. That would have been Devil dead right there.
Well, that was really good heals and support coming out there from Zuko, able to keep his teammate alive, and now Devil and Mist getting hit pretty hard by, it looks like that's Hypno, doesn't have his Glen heal available, and nor does he have many defensive abilities left. Tau trying to do what he can. Aerox going to plus that, going to be able to take him into the downstate. Chill to the boat coming out there as well from Tau, trying to get his teammate back up, but Tau taking it into downstate as well. But Devil brought back up, and it looks like he's going for Aerox. Aerox taking it into downstate as well, and it looks like Tau might be able to get rally Aerox unless he's taken down first. Aerox going to get rezzed up by his teammates. Nice knockback. Isn't going to be enough though here, because it looks like Tau back up into the fight. Now the cleave is coming out onto Aerox.
Yeah, and Chill to the bone going to be coming out from Tau. That's going to really lay down some damage. Look at the health bars here for E-Dream as they just collapse right now under the pressure of Gems and Tonic. Eternity is now down. Kenya and both Kenya and Hypno right now trying to run for their lives. Look at the Condi pressure on Hypno. They're going to take him out as well, and Gems and Tonic is running it right now, just completely trying to take advantage of this situation here. If they win this fight as well, they'll be in a really, really good position to hold that map control for a very, very long period of time, and they probably won't give it up for a couple of minutes.
And look at Kenya right now. Elixir S popping for him. Hypno is not healthy as well. This is a 2v3 in favor of Gems and Tonic, and Kenya opting to stay. I don't know if I like that move from him. There's so much pressure coming out from Tao and Devil the Mist. Kenya inevitably will be taken down in a matter of moments. Doing a good job of keeping himself alive and actually putting out Gandhi pressure onto, or excuse me, just pressure as in normal towards these guys. And he's actually hanging on here. Elixir X up in a few seconds, but I'm pretty sure he'll be taken down in a moment.
Yeah, he needs to be really, really careful about those situations that he gets himself into like that. I mean, sitting in a 1v2 when you're going up against, like, if you're going up against a Rev, you know, maybe. If you're going up against just a Necro, maybe. But when you have two different types of pressure that you have to worry about, it's very, very difficult to hold a 1v2 like that, because you can't just rely on something like just Prot or just Conti Clear to really kind of sustain you in those fights. You have to worry about both, and it's very hard to upkeep a lot of that defense, those defensive cooldowns.
And there's the one cap at the mansion coming out here for Gems and Tonic. 150 to 71, almost 5 minutes into this game now. This feels like a whole new Gems and Tonic. Maybe it's because they're playing a team that's, you know, this has been an ever-changing E-Dream team over the last few weeks here, and probably don't have a whole lot of experience with Aerox and Hypno, because Hypno just joined a couple weeks ago as well, and Dalton actually taken into downstate. Maybe we could see E-Dream get something going here, but the 2 cap on the sides from Gems and Tonic is really swaying me away from that, you know, decision of thinking these guys might be in this game here.
Yeah, Aerox has done quite well so far against Zerko, but just not enough to be able to pick a kill off. And Devil right now under a little bit of pressure. Looks like Aerox is just kind of biding time for some cooldowns to come out so he can swap back over to that dagger pistol. But in the meantime, it's Kenya holding on to the point a little bit for him so that he can kind of control a little of that pressure from both of these guys here. Aerox looking for an opening, going to be taking it on Devil. Although Devil is going to get a lot of heals from his teammates, and that's just going to force those guys out. Still, not really any kind of success coming out from E-Dream.
I don't like this from E-Dream. Look at what they're doing. They're playing the 3 nodes. This is kind of rendering Aerox useless, because at any point, Gems and Tonic can send somebody mid, and it looks like they are going to do that. Dalton might be able to pick up the decap, but Aerox isn't able to do what Athis really is supposed to be doing here. He's not able to pick up decaps because they're forcing fights on both the side nodes. They hold mid. What do you expect Aerox to do in these team fights?
Yeah, I mean, he has to go across the entire map just to try for +1s, and while it is potentially going to work here between Zuko and Tao, it looks like,
oh, that stealth coming out there from Dalton, sneak gyro, and it looks like Aerox looking for the burst onto Devil the Mist, gonna hit him with that Surge of the Mist. Should be okay, but Unrelenting Assault gonna make him dodge around even more. Does have his heal up, has Shadow Step available, looking for the kill, but oh man, the heal in the Glint Form's gonna pop for Devil the Mist. Kind of pushes Aerox away now. This 1v1, there's 2 caps still here for Gems and Tonic, who managed to decap the Clock Tower as well.
Yeah, and Hypno is dead, so that is going to be a 3v5 now. Zerko getting kind of low due to Aerox just jumping all over him once again. I mean, Aerox has been trying to bully Zerko. It just hasn't really gotten very far because his team just hasn't been able to follow up. I mean, Gems and Tonic has just done such a just such a good job so far of maintaining map control throughout this entire game. Like right now we're sitting on 301 to 118, Zerko taken out, but Devil's right there and they're gonna get the res.
There's nothing Aerox can really do about that. Trig is late to the party. Even then, Trig could only pop Obsidian Flesh and stomp, and that, honestly, Aerox's, you know, his cleave really, I didn't feel like would have been enough for that situation because Devil the Mist was there early enough. And I mean, we're 7:30 left in this game, 315 to 118, about a 200-point lead here for Gems and Tonic, absolutely annihilating E-Dream in this game number 1.
Yeah, it looks like Hypno once again under pressure, gonna get the Glint heal. In the meantime, Dalton kind of low as well as he goes down to about 800 HP, though does get that healing turret off. Just a little bit of heals. He's trying to kill Hypno before he goes down. And look at the sustain coming out from Gems and Tonic. This is what we saw back in the Challenger Cup that was really impressive in that kind of caliber of gameplay, that they really knew how to play this style of gameplay of just taking team fights, not playing with the Thief, just kind of taking these robust bruiser type classes and just taking these team fights, and that's what they've done all game so far. This meta has sort of worked out for them a little bit.
And this is what I love to see from these new teams that are in the Pro League, like Gems and Tonic. They're taking on guys who have played in the competitive scene before. Aerox, Hypno, all being a part of Season 1 Zero Counterplay roster, and seeing, obviously, some guys from E-Dreamers new as well, but taking it to these guys, taking a 2 cap once again, about just over 150 points away from game number 1 here on the Battle of Kylo, and moving over to Temple of the Silent Storm looking extremely strong. Now for eDream, what do they need to do in this game to try and get some of this ground back?
I mean, they need to stop playing both sides like that and just playing all over the map, because that doesn't give Aerox any room to play. Aerox on that Thief needs to make sure that, I mean, as a team, they need to make sure that Aerox always has somewhere to go. When they're just throwing weird fights all across the map, all these weird skirmishes, there's not very much for him to +1, especially when they're going up against, like I said, these kind of bruisers. I mean, think about what he's going to be +1ing. He can't really take down much of anything very quickly by himself. I mean, he can definitely put some really strong pressure out on a lot of these guys, you know, especially the Necromancer, you know, the Revenant, as well as the Druid. But, you know, you still have that issue of if there's anyone else in that area, they're going to be able to provide some support. If the Ellie's in the area, you got heals to worry about, you got chill to worry about, you got that shocking to worry about. If Dolan's in the area, you got peels in that regard. You know, a lot of problems arise when, you know, you have these weird skirmishes, and Jims and Tonic has taken advantage of that so far.
Well, Tau is in the down state, maybe a last-ditch effort for eDream to get something going for themselves, but they would also need to get a decap over at the windmill node. Doesn't look like that's going to happen anytime soon. Devil in the Mist will be there to protect it. No one is even close here. Aerox finally going to bail out of this fight, give his team a chance to come back into this game, but 50 points away from a victory for Gems and Tonic. 5 minutes remaining in this game, over 250-point lead. Zuko is down, Dalton about to follow. I just don't see it happening here for eDream.
Yeah, and that was such a good surge in the mist there from Hypno, just to make sure that they maintain the pressure on that body to make sure that they get that kill. But unfortunately, as good of a play that was, we haven't seen that all, like, I mean, as much the whole game. We haven't seen them actually solidifying kills and converting down states. So, you know, that among the other rotational issues, they're going to be dropping this game for sure. Jims and Tonic going to be moving up 1-0 over eDream into the next map.
That's the first 2-cap, if I'm not mistaken, from eDream all game long. Took them about 11 minutes to get there, but I don't know. I mean, they needed to play like they have the past couple of minutes the entirety of this game, and they're starting to get something going now with Zerko almost falling down, but it's just too late. 15 points away for Gems and Tonic to hold on here. They have Dalton off respawn. That won't be happening. We're going to be seeing Gems and Tonic go up with a 1-0 lead here over eDream and be 1 game away from solidifying that 6th place spot. Actually, with that win, if I'm not mistaken, they have solidified 6th place.
Yep. Yeah, they have.
Okay, well, game number 2 here on Temple of the Silent Storm. Will Gems and Tonic take this set 2-0, or will eDream fight back and move us to Forest of Niflhel? Looking at the opening splits, looks like Dalton heading to the Temple. Aerox this time around actually going to grab that home node, so they're looking to have a pretty sustainable push towards the far node, heading back onto the map. A little bit of a skirmish in the roads here. Don't often see this because teams usually opt to stealth up beforehand, but sending their Thief to altar right away going to kind of mitigate the fact that they don't have any stealth. But blue team picking up the 1-cap for themselves, and we're going to see Gems and Tonic kind of be pressured back to their home node here.
Yeah, Devil's looking for Kenya right now, and we're going to be seeing an interesting, oh, actually a really good drop on Kenya there as he's forced into that traded S, and they're going to be trying to follow up this to try to get a kill, and it's not looking like it's going to work. In the meantime, though, Hypno still under pressure as well. So far looking kind of good. Unless they can take down Devil rather quickly, it's looking rather good for Jims and Tonic in this fight as well. And we were talking before about how Jims and Tonic really likes these kinds of fights because it really comes down to they're able to sustain themselves, and with that, you know, with the setup that they're running, I believe Kenya actually with the Paladin's Amulet Water Runes, I mean, they're able to get some decent heals out for their teammates as well, and they're able to help sustain each other without actually playing much support aside from Trig.
What a toss Elixir X coming out there from Kenya. It looked like Zerko was trying to jump up there, and Kenya just tossing it out onto him. Wasn't able to actually jump in the Moa form, so really like that play coming out there from him, but Zerko able to keep himself alive. Obviously, Trig, meanwhile, might be taken into downstate, does have his heal. Obsidian Flesh pops almost everything to keep himself up there. Still does have that Lightning Flash if he needs to use it. Eternity, meanwhile, at this mid node in the 1v1 with Tau, who's looks like he's actually winning this currently, but oh man, the plus from Aerox. What a play coming out from him. Exactly what he needed to do there. Excellent awareness, and it looks like Zerko attempting for a decap. A really good start here for eDream, able to build a pretty good lead.
Yeah, actually, Eternity going to be holding on to this one as well. A lot of damage being put down onto Zuko, who's going to cleanse it all off, and he's going to be healthy now. But it's just giving more and more time to it for Eternity to then, you know, get some of those cooldowns back and get back up to full HP with that, that adrenal health.
Aerox again, and it looked like Eternity was going to be able to take him down, but the interrupt actually coming out there, and of course the Vapor form, and Tao looking for the res along with. It is him and Zerko. Looks like they were able to get their teammate back up out of the downstate, get that decap over at the temple node, or the altar rather, and continuing to drop down in terms of lead. And we finally see Devil the Mist peel out to try to claim that node for his team.
Yeah, Zerko right now under a lot of pressure, although he's going to be able to kind of peel around this pole. LOS a little bit. It's going to be Hypno actually following him out, trying to put some pressure on him still, although Hypno is going to be taking a lot of damage in the meantime because of it. Again, though, I mean, Dalton right now in a 1v1 with Kenya, so NG v NG. That'll be interesting to see who winds up taking that one. However,
Aerox is going to plus it. That's exactly what he needs to be plussing these, and it looks like he's going to do just that. As soon as he takes down Dalton here, potentially look for a decap over at the altar node, or even just go for the stillness buff if Gems and Tonic does avoid, or actually forget about it, rather. They should not be avoiding the stillness buff by any means, and it looks like Devil the Mist a little late to the +1 party, looking for some damage onto Aerox. There's the 1 cap piece, make it a 2 cap now coming out here for E-Dream. This time it was about 3.5 minutes into the game as opposed to last game. It took him 11 minutes to get that first 2 caps. So pretty good showing right away here for E-Dream, really starting to build a lead now.
Yeah, and when you get those guys spread out like that, that's when Aerox is able to get those situations where he's just able to jump in on those 1v1s where, you know, Trig's able to pull those defensive cooldowns out, you know, over time, able to call that out. They communicate that between those two, and Aerox just comes in when they have nothing left and waiting on something else. So really good communication from these guys, really good way to adapt to this setup, because when they get into these team fights, I mean, certainly Gems and Tonic has a huge advantage.
Well, there's the 3 cap from E-Dream because Aerox was able to get over to the altar and pick up that node for his team. Kenya and Dalton still going at it at the stillness buff. That won't go anywhere anytime soon. Meanwhile, at the mid node, Tao is under a lot of heat from Eternity, and even Trig, he's going to be taken into the downstate. Zerko with Aerox here, there's just too much cleave for him to be able to get anything going. I don't even like the fact he attempted to go in for that res, and they actually get him up thanks to Zuko getting in there, so I take my words back. Zuko coming to the rescue, getting his teammate up. Now Aerox needs to be careful himself, almost being taken down there, and E-Dream still prevailing with a 2 cap. No answer from Gems and Tonic thus far.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Aerox has 100% kill participation right now with his team. I mean, I think they've gotten 4 kills. I think he's been involved in all of them. Three maybe, but I think he's been involved in all of them. So he's been all over the place and back, it seems. Looks like he's going to be trying to get away from Zerko a little bit. In the meantime, though, Devil does get picked off, so there's one that Aerox wasn't a part of, and that's going to be Hypno taking the 1v1 there instead. However, Aerox is now kind of looking for Zerko again, and we saw this actually in the last map where he was trying to bully Zerko out just so hard throughout that entire game, but he falls down. Oh no, that is not good at all.
I'm looking at Zuko here at the mid node. He was actually extremely low, able to get out of some of the pressure from Eternity. This 2v2, make it a 3v2 because Aerox fell down, but we do have buffs up in about a minute, and teams need to be paying attention to those. A 200-point lead here for E-Dream, just over 5 minutes into this game. Gems and Tonic looking for something over near that temple node over at their home, but it's just been all Aerox plussing these fights, denying any opportunity from Gems and Tonic whatsoever to try and get back into this game.
Yeah, the thing is that we have to remember, though, this is probably the easiest map to come back from a huge, huge detriment of points. I mean, like a loss like this, I mean, you can come back from this, especially with 9 minutes left in the game. We're talking 25 seconds left in the match, or 25 seconds left until those buffs come up. Granted, Devil down, he's going to be back up before that buff comes up. He still has to get across the map to do it, though, and with that change to phase reversal going to 35 energy from 20, it's going to slow him down a little bit for sure, but he's still going to probably be able to get over there. In the meantime, though, Aerox is a little bit low here. Hypno is a little bit low as well. Looks like Hypno already making a move for that bottom buff, and it's going to be Dalton who's going to be trying to answer that one, although it looks like maybe Eternity is going to be swapping out.
This is going to be interesting. I'm very surprised that Gems and Tonic wanted to 3v1 mid for just a moment there. Zuko looking for something else. They have to be able to hold on to outnumbered fights while their teammates go for decaps around the map. They cannot allow this 2-cap to persist any longer. Almost a 300-point deficit. But as you said, of course, there's no amount of points you can't come back from on this map. And now Aerox down. This is an opportunity for Gems and Tonic to get something going here. If they can take down Hypno as well, that would be a massive help to their situation here. It looks like Zerko going for that far node, and hopefully for Gems and Tonic's sake that Devil the Mist isn't taken out. Looking for the kill on the Hypno, though he's almost low. 5 bleeds actually taken on him. He does have a bit of a heal there. A couple dodges are left for him. Man, is he able to stay alive here? Zuko looking for the kill. Actually, Devil the Mist is not going to be able to. There's the 4 cap coming out there for Gems and Tonic, who managed to pick up Stillness. This is it. This is their chance for a comeback here, Yurks.
Yeah, and look at Hypno, still alive though. I mean, the peels that he's given, even just to himself, has just been so insane. And looks like he's going to be trying to get a heal, but he's not going to get much out of it. And that was his hope to get back into this one with that Glint heal. He was hoping for that full heal for sure.
But Aerox taken down again at the midpoint. Of course, there's a huge deficit here for Gems and Tonic, but this is the map to be able to do that. We do have, you know, Stillness buff isn't up for another minute and a half, but they're taking down guys. Hypno finally might drop into the down state here. Trig, rather, is not looking too healthy either. Does have some cooldowns, does have some heals. Is going to be able to use that. Doesn't use it in time, though. He should have used that as soon as Hypno was even close to him. And it looks like Trig going to be taken into the down state more than likely here. Already used Obsidian Flesh. Doesn't have his Reflect or his Condi removal available, and it looks like Eternity is the last member of his team standing now. Is just Gems and Tonic saving grace here? I
mean, if they take that, it could. I mean, it's certainly possible. We're getting, you know, 50 seconds left now until the next series of buffs. Dalton getting incredibly low. Zerko in a little bit of trouble as well, though he's in a 1v1 with Aerox, so he might be able to sustain that one out.
This is a 3v1, and they can't take down Eternity. I cannot fathom what is, like, what were they thinking there? They should have been able to take him down, and now Hypno is going to be able to get here in time, and they're going to be able to get another guy here in time. Still managing to hold on to mid as long as up until now when Aerox was able to decap. Now looking for the kill onto Hypno. Hypno, this is a 2v1 here. He is trying his best to stay alive. Does have a couple of things left for him to do that, but 1 cap apiece now as they continue to plus this bottom fight and just a funneling. They're just, eDream's just funneling in here, hoping that they can survive.
Which is a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, thinking about how far up they are and the fact that nobody's been able to pressure Temple. I mean, anytime someone goes for that, Aerox just runs over there, grabs the decap because he doesn't need to be in this bottom fight at all. They've, since they're, I mean, trickling in, that kind of thing, they just kind of just keep walking in, make sure that they can sustain as long as possible. They don't even have to put down a lot of pressure. As long as they can make sure that the buff isn't getting capped and Aerox is always just going wherever he needs to be just to kind of lock people in so that, you know, they can just keep pulling people out of that fight on bottom, then they're fine.
They really are, and it looks like Zuko is going to head out to the temple, grab a decap for his team, and then if you're asking me, you don't even cap that, go immediately for the Stillness buff. That way you don't even have anyone to contend against you, but it looks like his home node is actually, excuse me, altar was decapped, so now you obviously have to cap that. Under 5 minutes remaining in this game, 422, 192, and blue team picking up Stillness and the gate for themselves. That might be game over here. We could see this game go to a game number 3 on Forest.
Yeah, with that kill on Devil, they were able to get a little bit more map control, get that top up, get the gate, and then now also rotate into that fight against Zerko, take that kill as well. Aerox really doing some work now. Had a little bit of a hiccup in the beginning of the game where he, you know, got jumped on a couple of times and wasn't able to accomplish what he set out to in the beginning, where he was really, really doing quite well in the beginning of the match. Definitely came back into full stride there and was able to finish this match out. So they're going to be they're going to be tied now at 1-1 going into game of 3 on Forest. And that's going to be a really interesting matchup.
All right, well, game number 3 on the Forest of Niflhel. Starting up here, let's take a look at some opening splits as both teams sending crossers. Wow. Gems and Tonic going to send 3 people over towards that far node, over the henge. Let's see what blue team's going to be able to match it with as Hypno sitting back, going to communicate to his teammates, hey guys, we need help back here, and Trig is going to make his way back. But this team fight definitely favors Gems and Tonic because Aerox is a part of it. He's just going to bail on out of this, let his team fight in this outnumbered fight and push to +1 that far node over at the mine. So kind of like that move from these guys. However, it looks like Gems and Tonic will pick up the cap for themselves.
Yeah, Hypno right now kind of fighting for his life a little bit, although the pressure is on Tau at the moment, and it looks like if they're able to just get a couple more CCs, and he has Surge in the Mist, and that's going to be a lot of damage, and Tao's getting incredibly low here, and it looks like he is just able to get his heal off, man.
Wow, that was at the last second. That was clutch coming out from him, and it looks like he will get to safety for the time being unless we do see phase reversal come out from Ipno. Ipno struggling to get up there. Dolton, however, was just eliminated at the mid node in the 1v1 with Eternity. That will be the first points of the game in favor of eDream. Meanwhile, Gems and Tonic still managing to hold on to that mine node.
I mean, we should be looking at a dead Tao right now, but Ipno still not feeling confident enough to make that jumping puzzle to get back up in there. And that certainly, I mean, it won't amount to much because he has the Ellie in the matchup. They're going to win no matter what. But I mean, it's still one of those situations where it's like, that should have been a kill already, and if something bad does wind up happening, that's on him.
And it looks like Tao will fall into the down state, and we're going to see Devil of the Mist head on out of this fight. Meanwhile, Dolton looking for a decap over at the keep. That will not be matched by anyone just yet. There is, you know, of course, 3 members for the red team around this side of the map with Tao in the downstate. That's going to leave Zuko and Zerko both vulnerable to this 2v3. There's a lot of damage over here with Aerox in the midst, and it looks like Zuko is actually taken down, and we're going to see the stomp come out from these guys. And, oh, man, a little too early on that. Oh, it didn't look like that was decapped. I thought that node was decapped for a moment there, but even so, Zerko will be taken into the downstate. They will end up losing that mine node.
Yeah, so they will lose that 2-cap that they previously had, and now it's going to be a 2-cap in favor of the blue team here, eDream, who is fighting now to get their first series win of the season. And it looks like it's going to transition towards this key point. A lot of damage is rotating over towards this node as Tao actually rotates over towards that hinge node. And it's going to be Ipno going for that 1v1, Aerox pulling off to +1 that. That's a good rotation, in my opinion, to be able to just pull that kill off very, very quickly. The decap does go through. In the meantime, Tao still taking a lot of pressure as he doesn't have too much Reaper Shroud. And once Aerox adds to this fight, I mean, they're going to be able to CC this guy all the way down here. And look at the damage on him, just eliminating him from this matchup. Zerko now going for the res, Fear coming out as well. And that's going to be a rezzed up Tao there, and back up into this fight with some support from Zerko potentially as well. So
Zerko looking for a burst onto Arrow, of course. That Longbow 2 going to follow him right through that stealth for the time being. Arrow now looking to bring some burst back onto him. He is going to have to port out of that. We saw Chill to the Bone coming out there from Tao, and 1 cap apiece here. Just a 5-point lead in favor of Gems and Tonic. About 3.5 points into this game. Ipno, though, is going to be eliminated by Tao and Zerko. Going to be able to pick up the 2 cap once again for these guys, as we see this 3-point play come out from eDream. Again, we saw this in game number 1. It wasn't working out for these guys if they want to make use of Aerox.
Yeah, Aerox right now putting some pressure on Devil, though, and looks like Aerox is kind of getting low on those cooldowns a little bit, but he is going to be safe now in stealth. Looking for Devil once again, going for that backstab, although he is going to be looking at the back end of a dodge there from Devil, and now it looks like they're just kind of trying to find someone to take down very quickly. Devil's going to get a lot of support there on the node from his teammate Zuko, and still under a little bit of pressure. That Bassie's going to come out, although it looks like Aerox isn't going to be following that one up. Instead, going to be rotating possibly over towards this fight with Ipno, where Ipno has Zerko down really quite low, actually, and he's going to be going into stealth, so nothing really for Aerox to take picks on.
I mean, they took down Devil of the Mist at mid without Aerox even in the fight, and it looks like Drake went in for the stomp, but the res, of course, coming out there from Zuko. So they will still match this 3v3 here at mid with that 2v2 going on over at the Henge node. Devil of the Mist is low once again, trying to get some support. It looks like he dodge rolled his own Condi clear potentially. It looked like that's what just happened. Maybe he got that off in time. Looking for the reds. There's so much glee coming out from these guys. Able to get him back up once again, but of course he is under so much pressure here. 10 bleed stacks. He's going to get plus there by Aerox. Excellent move from him, able to take him down, and I don't think he's getting back up after that. Zuko going to fall as well. This is probably a 1 fight here for eDream.
Yeah, Tao right now is the only one left. Does have that full Reaper Shroud, but you know, with no stability, they're going to be able to lock him out if they do decide to turn on him. In the meantime, though, Zerko trying to get that res off still. Not going to happen. Zerko forced to leave that one as Ipno is just still chasing him around. Look at the pressure on Zerko here as Aerox adds to it, and they're going to be looking to take the kill as he's stunned.
but he's still alive, and they still have not decapped mid. They still have not decapped because Tao was allowed to stay alive there. He's on a 1v1, if I'm not mistaken, with their Elementalist when everyone else decided to train down Zerko. And then we saw Dolton come in, and we saw Eternity come in, but they weren't able to do a whole lot. Now Aerox picks up a decap for his team. Still a sizable lead, but there's the decap actually coming out there on the side of Gems and Tonic, picking up the mine node, able to decap that one. So one cap here for Gems and Tonic in this mid fight. I feel like this is all just a reset from what we had before. It's Tao now taking the downstate. Stomp coming out. No, it got interrupted, and it looks like Tao back up into this fight here.
Yeah, and Aerox right now in a losing battle against Devil so far, not able to get a foothold in this matchup. Devil doing a great job here, it looks like. However, it's going to be really close. I mean, the Thief can win this matchup even versus a Retrirev if he just goes for these quick pokes just over and over, force those cooldowns out, and go in for burst when he doesn't have that glint heal. And so far, he's doing a good job of that. It's just Devil has been doing an even better job of holding on and maintaining the cap throughout the entire matchup. In the meantime, though, this mid fight is just an absolute brawl. Dolton getting very, very low here. It looks like blue team just trying to train him out. But, I mean, the CCs and the peels that are coming out from this team is just proving to be a little bit too much.
But it looks like Aerox able to take down Devil of the Mist in the 1v1. Remember, with Precision Strike no longer hitting Thieves or hitting anyone in stealth for that matter, that kind of hurts him quite a bit. So Aerox can really play off that. But unfortunately for Aerox and the rest of eDream, Zerko is going to be able to get there in time and help out his teammate and continue to hold on to this 2-cap. 8 minutes remaining here, 302 to 209 in favor of Gems and Tonic, just a couple hundred points away from sealing this game.
I'm actually kind of confused as to why they rotated heavy over towards that far node. It's not their node. They're rotating into an even fight. They could instead have Aerox pull back to this mid fight, and they could have had a 4v2 here. They're already getting kills. They could have made a lot more headway a lot quicker than they did. Zuko down right now, Tao getting dropped as well. I mean, they, in my opinion, should have just gone for this a little bit earlier and just maybe had someone kind of troll outside and maybe force like Eternity over there instead, because Eternity can hold those 1v2s very successfully with that build.
Devil of the Mist is actually on Chieftain right now. There's no one coming for this. I mean, they've got the Revan, it's close. Hypno's looking for the 1v1. That's an extra 25 points. At this stage of the game, that is massive in favor of Gems and Tonic. 25 points, that could very well be the, come down to the end of the game if eDream's able to keep this 2-cap up for themselves. But we do have Tao picking up, or actually look to pick up a decap at the mine point, looking for the 2v2 with his teammate Zuko, and now a bit of an aggressive push, I'd say, coming out here towards mid. I didn't like that push because Aerox is able to go right behind him, but Dolton should be able to get there in time. And eDream, if they're able to keep this up, Aerox, they could potentially get back into this game.
Yeah, it's definitely well within the realm of possibility, although it really comes down to Aerox getting a little bit more of those picks that we've been seeing a lot of, and just saw another one in the form of Zerko, and it's going to be Hypno trying to put down a little bit more pressure there as well, but Zerko's going to get back up. Dolton there with the gyro res going to be able to get his teammate back up. In the meantime, though, they're going to be still trying to pick that kill. Looks like Devil and Kenya now in a 1v1 over here at the mine. And it is important to note that that is blue team's point here, and Tao is going to be coming over to try to +1 this. They're probably going to be able to kill Kenya within about 10-15 seconds once that rotation happens, and it is happening right now, and he's going to be trying to make sure that he can sustain. Yeah, he needs help.
But Aerox picks up almost picks up a decap over there at the henge point, but back at this fight over at the mine point, Kenya, we've seen him before. Nice toss to Elixir X, but Elixir S going to pop for him. That's going to force him to give up the decap, and that's where eDream's hopes could potentially die to get back into this game. Nice chill to the bone to kind of allow Devil the Mist to get some cooldowns back now. He needs to be able to keep himself alive. If this 1-cap persists, of course, Gems and Tonic will take the game. They are about 80 points away from winning this game number 3.
Yeah, certainly getting a lot closer now, and just holding on for dear life now, as it looks like eDream is just surging to try to take kills and just really kind of float these fights over quickly so that they can get control of the map again. With that decap over on the mine, though, they've been losing a little bit of that advantage and a little bit of that surge that I was talking about of trying to get back into this game. They've been able to force these guys off the point a little bit here, but we're just seeing a little bit of that kind of Paul Java-esque setup where it's just you go on the point, I leave, you go on the point, I leave,
but they
and just rotate off.
Kenya.
And that's the thing, like that incessant pressure of these guys being able to rotate very well on and off the point. They're able to maintain pressure and be able to just kind of clear up space for defensive cooldowns to come back off And now Aerox is going to be trying to add to this fight a little bit, put some pressure onto Devil. In the meantime, though, Trig is extremely low in this fight here as he gets down to about 10% HP and gets dropped there by Tao, who is trying to go for the stomp, although the Vape Nation form comes out instead, and they're going to be going for that stomp now. They do have that cap already, so they can just kind of leave this body, and they're going to be holding on to this 2 cap now, trying to win this game out.
There's nothing E-Dream can do right here. 25 points away from victory. Gems and Tonic, with this win, will solidify 6th place in the final standings. That would put Spooky, no matter the result today, at the 7th place spot, and E-Dream, of course, at 8th. So congratulations to Gems and Tonic here, fighting back, even in this, kind of mid-game where we saw E-Dream start to make a push to get back into this game. Gems and Tonic able to hold on there and come out with the victory. 500-389 for Gems and Tonic.
She's going to be trying to take a lot of 1v1s with this build. We saw him last week do just that, even against, some of those, even against some NGs as well, like Shaniki, who's a really good player as well. So I expect to see the same kind of thing today.
Opening splits, Zor heading to the windmill, a bit of a defensive push from Ulrun and Bear heading over to the mansion. We do have some stealth play coming out right away from Easy Peasy. Let's head to them and look at who their first target will be. And looking at, might be onto Bear potentially, or Fav. Edison just waiting for his chance to pounce here, and it looks like it's going to be on top of Bear. Bear able to distort that damage almost immediately and avoid a big burst coming out onto him. The 1 cap, of course, coming out here for Never Lucky, who opted to focus all 3 nodes.
Yeah, and it's going to be Never Lucky with that first cap, trying to take a little bit of an advantage after Ulrun capped it out, and it looks like we're going to be seeing nobody going for that. Edison actually going to be peeling off to grab that decap, and this is exactly how you want to play with a Thief. You want to play that two-point game. Let Edison make good use of his mobility. Bear not quick enough on the draw. He's going to get decapped. Looks like Edison's going to be taking this fight as well and gets a huge burst on him as well, with Wang dropped at the mid-fight. Edmonton getting kind of low as well, though. So, I mean, Never Lucky holding on to this one a little bit.
I didn't like this move coming out here from Easy Peasy to leave their Elementalist in the 1v1 with Sunfish. Not to say that, it's not a bad 1v1 by any means, but I really feel like could have used Chuda at this node. Really feel like that would have helped Edmonton right now. He'd be 100% HP, so would Zor. They'd be able to out-sustain these guys for quite some time. Enough time for Wayne to get back into this fight. And although it does look like they're going to be able to do that, there would just be a little bit more support in that favor. But unfortunately for Never Lucky, I don't think Sunfish will be winning that 1v1 anytime soon against Chudat.
Yeah, it looks like Edmonton right now kind of struggling a little bit here. Does have that glint swap ready for himself if he needs to, get a little bit of heal. He does have that heal available. So in the meantime, although it looks like he's getting extremely low, those conditions all over him are going to basically just full heal him all the way back up as Fayob jumps on top of him as well, give him that full heal. But still incredibly low. Does have that Enchanted Daggers coming up soon, but it's just not going to be enough. Doesn't have enough cooldowns to even get to that point. Wangy now going for the res here. It looks like he's going to be able to get it. Wang not taking any pressure with that Signet Stone up as well, and they're looking to take him out now.
I mean, he does have Celestial Avatar available as well. They should be able to sustain this, but they're not on the node in time. There's the cap, the 2 cap coming out here in favor of Never Lucky. An excellent start for them, but it looks like Easy Peasy will follow up with a cap of their own over at the windmill. Now Edmonton looking for a decap. Edison trying to hold off Ulrun. Ulrun might be able to get there in time. It doesn't look like he will. That's a 1 cap apiece. Excellent move. Now trying to take down Ulrun, and both Bear's actually going to plus this fight. So that's probably going to heavily favor Never Lucky here.
Yeah, Edison right now trying to make a move a little bit here on Ulrun. Ulrun putting a lot of pressure down on top of him, though, and it looks like they're going to be looking for Bear instead. Bear, I mean, like, just really efficient use of his defensive cooldowns there, getting a good amount of block, and also, putting some good pressure out on Edmonton as well. And they're right now in a 3v3, and honestly, they're winning it at the moment. Edmonton under a lot of pressure here, going down now to about 10%. And still dropping. They're forced to portal out. Looks like Bear's going to drop his just to make sure that, if they do wind up going over towards that point, they can always portal back. And Edmonton right now still very low at the midpoint, but although he does get a huge amount of healing from Chudat, Bear did just wind up using his portal as well. So it is 2 cap in favor of Never Lucky right now, 70 points ahead of this Easy Peasy team, but we have seen some interesting comebacks on this map.
And Edison just failing to get that decap. Ulrun able to get on top of him in time, and really good awareness. Now it looks like Sunfish is going to be taken down in the roads. Not exactly sure what he was trying to do there. Maybe he was trying to follow up on the plus that was coming out there from Easy Peasy, but they're able to eliminate him. Potentially make way with this clock tower fight now that Sunfish is out of the mix here, and it looks like Stalacta forced to pop almost all of his cooldowns. That's going to be the decap at Clock Tower. Easy peasy need to make something of this. They have the numbers advantage here.
Yeah, they've been, I mean, honestly, Easy Peasy has been doing very, very well dealing with Sunfish with that Warrior. I mean, he's really, really effective in those 1v1s, but they have not given a lot of those up to him. They've been forcing Chudat into a lot of those fights as well, forcing CC onto him as well, and just really kind of locking him down, putting pressure on him, and taking him out of the equation entirely. And that's been working so far for them as they sustain across the board.
But Bear's now down too.
Yep.
Feob, look at Feob. He's under so much heat now. Forced to use his shield block, but is it going to be enough to keep him alive? Does not have his Glint Heal available for another about 12 seconds here. Needs the support from the rest of his team. We see Sunfish looking for a decap over there at the windmill. We see the same from Edison. He picks it up, so it will be decaps across the board, but numbers still in favor of Easy Peasy, and they're yet to capitalize on this. They could possibly do it with a kill on the Feob here.
Yeah, Feob right now struggling at the moment. Does have that glint swap, but not going to have enough time to make it over. And they're going to pick up another kill. And this is, again, one of those situations where we've seen some really crazy comebacks on Kylo. It doesn't look like they're able to get a foothold over there on the Mansion, because we did see Olrun pop over to that, get the full cap, and just kind of sticking around, just playing a little bit defensively, waiting for that. But
the Moa was actually blocked by Sunfish there. Excellent use of that shield block, but he more than likely will be taken down here unless he's able to get some support from the rest of his teammates. Able to cleanse a lot of conditions now. Zor's still sticking on top of him, does have his heal for the resistance. That's going to be the last of his support, but it looks like Stalacta is going to come save the day for him. Excellent move, excellent support from Stalacta. They're building themselves up to a 100-point lead
look
here.
at Edison.
It looks like Edison might be taken down as well. Oh, able to get withdraw off in time, and he should be able to get to safety now. Still a very close one. Now Bear taken in the downstate as well. This is just a turn of events in favor of Easy Peasy, but Edison might fall down once again. It looks like Bear will be dropped off the map, and this is an opportunity for Easy Peasy to get something going once again.
Yeah, that's that problem with the carrying amulet. While you do still have 25k HP, it's very easy to burn through 1.9k armor, especially without prot. So have to be incredibly careful, especially when you're going up against Edmonton and Edison in the same area, because those guys, as we've said before, are very, very good at coordinating with one another, setting up those burst plays. I mean, that's what they've been doing for a long time, even before they're playing these particular roles. Edmonton back on that Guardian. I mean, they've been doing this for a long time.
Those two are definitely, like we've heard Zor say before in interviews, they're basically brothers for the most part. So not surprising to see these guys able to bring the hurt, but it looks like Edison picking up a decap over at the Mansion uncontested now. And it looks like there's the cap. This will be a one cap in favor of Easy Peasy. We've got 8 minutes left on this clock. A fairly significant lead here for Never Lucky, who are looking very impressive given the fact that the past couple weeks it hasn't been their greatest for the most part. Edmonton is getting fairly low. He's actually dropped into the downstate now. There's so much cleave here. I doubt that Rez is going to be able to come out here. And it looks like the stomp coming through there.
Yeah, they ported a lot of people into that just to try to see if they could get Edmonton back up. It wasn't effective, but Zor was taking incredibly low to try to set that up. Looks like he's getting actually just kind of let go, and no one's even trying to chase him. He's still on this midpoint with no one on top of him at about 60% HP. He's even being aggressive on Feob, and Feob is not able to really just jump on him. Looks like now we see Sunfish jumping on top of it, and there's no clears for Zor. Once after this this heal comes off, he's going to be probably
he's going to be okay,
yeah,
able to cleanse those condies. So no pressure, no follow-up pressure, to be quite honest. Bear actually drops the portal over there at the windmill, getting trained down now. We have decaps on the board once again because we had a decap from Olrun over at the Mansion, able to kind of mitigate any point income from Easy Peasy. But Bear might drop down, has his heal, but that's not going to be able to get off in time, and it looks like he will be off this map now. And now they need to go and try to contest Stalacta because Clock Tower is just capped there by Never Lucky, left uncontested by Easy Peasy.
Yeah, they need to be careful. They need to watch Bear, because Bear has been really kind of bullied this entire match so far, and they haven't been able to get some good sustain to him to make sure that he's able to, stay up and put out some pressure. Also, he's been taking some weird fights in weird positions as well, so they need to kind of reel him in and maybe try to get some more favorable opportunities for the team. In the meantime, though, Stalacta was taken out. They still are ahead by 80 points right now, so they're in a sort of safe position, but again, once you give that map control, it's really hard to get it back, and they're Never Lucky has been arguably very good at losing it. So
I mean, we've seen some crazy things from this team, that is for sure. And it looks like Olrun is going to be caught by the shield 5 from the Mesmering. He's going to be taken down fairly low here. Needs to be playing this pretty carefully. Still going on the aggressive onto Wang, knowing Wang really doesn't do a whole lot. It's all up to his pets to do much of his damage, if any at that. It looks like Zor now going to be the main focus. Ulrun still, look at the Condi sticking on him. Does have his heal gyro and should be okay. Decap at Clock Tower will come through easy peasy ever so slowly, making their way back into this game. They just need to make sure they do it in a timely manner. Only 5:45 remaining on the clock.
Yeah, as long as they make sure everything else stays decapped, they'll slowly come back into this one. There's only 65 points separating them from this team Never Lucky. Edison now dropping Ulrun here, and he's going to be able to cleave this one out. Feav going to be forced to leave this, and that's going to be a 2-cap now for Easy Peasy as they charge back into this game. And if Feav drops, then that is, again, one of those situations that we've seen from Never Lucky already before where they have the control and they just drop it. I mean, and it's very hard. They're very hard pressed to get it back once they do drop it.
And
right
Chudat's been doing a surprisingly good job in this 1v1 against Sunfish, kind of rendering him useless, and not necessarily in the game in its entirety, but just kind of in these 1v1s, making sure that he's taken care of. They don't have to worry about his Condi pressure at these fights. And now both side notes in favor of Easy Peasy. Surely they should be able to take the lead now as they're creeping up on it, but Chudat taking a little bit of damage. He has power and Condi damage on him right now, and we talked about it before. Look at those Condis taken. You can take one of them on, but you cannot take both with the Condi and power damage. And Feav taken down as well. That's going to rally Chudat back into this fight. What a mistake, I would say, there from Never Lucky. Losing Feav is detrimental to them getting, you know, I want to say a lead and a grip back on this game.
Yeah, you were talking about the build differences between Stalacta and Chudat, and the reason why they put Chudat on that build is because between Diamond Skin and Cleansing Water, as long as he kind of is just in that 1v1 setting, he's actually going to do quite well in that matchup, given the fact that he's going to always be constantly, you know, taking away those conditions that he's getting quickly applied to from Sunfish. So as long as he's in a 1v1 setting, it's fine.
Edison, what a play, gets the decap at the Clock Tower, even forces the blink from Bear and looking to harass him a little bit. I don't like this because Feav is in the area, but Feav looking for a 1v1 against Wang. Meanwhile, back over at that big fight happening at the windmill. Looks like Edmonton is going to be under a little bit of pressure now, but without Feav here, there's really not a whole lot he needs to worry about except for the Condi pressure that can easily be cleansed by Chudat.
Yeah, and they have to be really careful in this situation because while Chudat is getting incredibly low here, he does have a lot of cooldowns that are going to be able to bring him back up. And as they are spending a lot of time on this node that is capped for Easy Peasy, they're not really making a whole lot of headway. It looks like they are now finally pulling out of this one. Edison going to get that decap, now looking for a full cap as well.
But look at Wang over here at the mansion. He was 2v1. Got plussed by Feav, and Bear, he does have Celestial Avatar, does stealth himself up, but I would say that benefits him because he's still sitting at about a very healthy health pool here, and has his heal up in a few seconds, and still has Celestial Avatar available in just a moment now, able to keep himself alive. Actually gets plussed by Edison, able to take down Feav, gets the interrupt on the Bear. Wow, this has changed. This has done a turnaround here for Easy Peasy over at the mansion, who will reclaim both side notes. As Bear getting trained down, it looks like Edison should be able to finish him off here. As soon as yes, that will be the end of Bear, and more than likely the end of the game, unless we see a huge Never Lucky comeback.
Yeah, and Edison back on the prowl right now. That's not what you want if you're Never Lucky right now, because Edison has been just so lethal the past two play days, and we've been seeing Edison really kind of come into his own as a thief again here. As I mean, this is the first time we've seen him in a long time on this class, and he's showing off his prowess right now on this profession and on this role in particular. Why they made it into the Pro League, and this is it, man. Between Edmonton, Edison, and certainly the rest of the team making plays as well at Chudat with a very, very good build take as well, being able to counter out Sunfish completely here. Wang doing a fantastic job on the Druid, holding that 1v2 and then taking that kill that we just saw as well. I mean, across the board, Easy Peasy is seemingly outplaying Never Lucky.
You got to remember, too, Chudat is a guy who took quite a long break, and he wasn't even a member of this roster, like its main starting roster at the beginning of the season, coming back, replacing a couple of guys who they decided to push to the substitutes, and Chudat doing an excellent job on the Elementalist, certainly better than, you know, even Season 1 as a whole with this entire team. 50 points away from taking this game, did get decapped over at the mansion, but all they need to do is survive with both Edmonton and Chudat at this windmill, and they surely should be able to take game number 1 here.
Yeah, it's just going to be a matter of holding out with only just over a minute left. There's no hope here for a comeback for Never Lucky. And again, one of those situations where you see Never Lucky gaining an advantage and then losing it right when it mattered, man. I mean, that's what it comes down to, being able to close these matches out. And they've had a lot of problems closing these matches out.
30 points away from a victory. This 3v2 actually, now that Wang is in the fight, even adds more to the sustain on the side of Easy Peasy. Never Lucky picking up their first 2-cap in quite some time here. Sunfish actually taken down. Chudat comes through. No, the stealth coming out there from Olrun. Good job with that sneak gyro, but it's not going to be enough as decap as well. We saw Edison actually take down Bear at the clock tower, just showing off his abilities here, as you were saying earlier. And that will be a game number 1 in favor of Easy Peasy.
Yeah, it's just going to be this fight over here. I mean, they're going to maybe even take a kill here on Sunfish. It looks like they're just trying to put a lot of damage on top of it, and they're just going to ditch that body. And it is now going to be 503 to 378 in favor of Easy Peasy.
Game number 2 on Temple going to be starting up here. Let's take a look at some opening splits. Zor is going to be the one to the Temple. We will see Bear head over to the altar. No, bit of miscommunication. They're going to send Olrun there. Bear heading back to the gate. Let's take a look back on the map now, as we do have a bit of a skirmish going on here. Chudat is going to be at this midpoint. We actually see the deadly Thief Revenant squad looking for a kill on the Olrun over here at the altar node. He does stealth up, but there's the 1-cap coming out here for Easy Peasy. Kind of a switch from what we saw in the last game.
Yeah, it looks like they're looking to take down Chudat. Chudat certainly going to offer a lot of the support towards, you know, maintaining some of the health bars as opposing.
Hold that portal play from Zor. What a great move. He's just going to go right back through. There's a portal play on the other end, if I'm not mistaken. Not sure what Bear's trying to accomplish. Bear's actually going to help out his teammates, so I did like that. Going to help Olrun go right through. They're going to end up giving both side nodes to Easy Peasy. If you're Easy Peasy right now, get out of this fight, play both side nodes. You're in a great position right here at early game.
Yeah, and certainly with the Thief, now they can play, play for anything at the moment, because they can give up one of those side nodes if they want and then just have Edison go back to it. So really, they don't really kind of lose much of anything by getting both of those sides. It's certainly the best play for them. And if at any point they do decide that they need to, go for mid, Edison can do that as well. So it's a really good setup for them at this point in the game. Not
to mention, Bear's already used his portal. He does not have that available for another 20+ seconds. So that mid is wide open, and there is Edison going straight for it. He knows that Olrun is accounted for. Wang said, hey, I've got Olrun here. We've got 4 of them over at the altar. Why don't you come get this decap? And of course, Edison going to be on top of that. They're able to sustain for quite some time over here until he's back. If he wants to come back, he's actually getting the full cap, so they might leave Chudat to die. He will go into the downstate. Now they're going to peel out of this. Doesn't look like, oh, there's the portal from Edison, and there it is once again. Chudat going right through it with that vapor form, able to get him right back up.
Yeah, and he can technically go right back through that, and that would have been the safe move, although it looks like he's going to try to just rotate off with his little feetsies there in that Moa form. So he's going to be able to get out of that alive, and that's certainly a huge thing for them, because they don't have to worry about him being on respawn and waiting for him to get back up. He's going to be rotating into mid. It looks like, actually no, he's going to be following Sunfish, which is a good plan. I mean, Chudat really kind of just needs to follow Sunfish around all game, because if he's able to do that,
he could just render him useless. He will be useless in this fight, and it looks like Wang's just going to head on right on out of this. And Sunfish, I'm not sure if he realizes what's going to be happening here, and he does. In fact, he knows he doesn't want to be in that 1v1 with Chudat. Hasn't worked out with him in the past. Now that Stalagta is off the board, as they were able to eliminate him. A potential decap once again from Edison will be met by Bear this time around. He's able to get right back on out of that, and plus this mid node, this is going to be a 5v3 in favor of Easy Peasy here at the gate.
Yeah, and Chudat still just chasing Sunfish around. They're doing such a good job of rotating Wang and Chudat around to make sure that every team fight, every single fight that Sunfish is in, Chudat is also in. I mean, look at this. He's literally just got him on, like, basically /follow at this stage. Just follow him around, just making sure that he's really having no effect. I mean, if Never Lucky wins this matchup, I think Sunfish needs to change builds completely, or to actually change classes, because going Power Warrior certainly isn't going to work.
Zor Zor getting up to the top buff. Edison, Stalacta will be there to stop him from getting that. As we saw Edison look for a decap over at the altar. Still a 2-cap in favor of Easy Peasy. About 4 minutes into this one, building themselves a very comfortable lead, about 125 points now. And it's looking across the board, health pool, Bear actually fairly low here. Needs to get back, needs to get some support from his teammates and get back into one of these fights and look for a portal play. We really haven't seen something like that from Bear yet.
Yeah, Bear right now looks like he's just set up the portal. He just kind of dropped it off, and that's going to be to get Sunfish out of that fight and into fighting Wang instead, which is certainly what they want because, again, you don't want him to be near Chuda at all.
But Bear was just taken down by Edison, so Edison, actually, they're just going to let Zor potentially get right back on to this node and just cap it and take the 2-cap for themselves. That's the kind of plays they can make with this thief, and they're doing exactly what they need to do. Going to pick up the 2-cap once again here.
Yeah, and Wang has done an excellent job so far sustaining against Feov and Sunfish, two high damage guys from Never Lucky. He's been able to just kind of keep alive versus, and that actually is going to be a huge deal because while that is their point, while the Temple was capped for the blue team, you know, that entire time he's just holding a 1v2. He's keeping a lot of that damage away from the rest of his team so that they can play a 4v3 without much of a worry of dying off.
And they're actually going to send Chudat back up here to reinforce him. I don't like that he left the node. He had Continuum split, he had his heal, he had Moa. He could have made use of that. I don't really think it was necessary to leave that node, but they still have a very sizable lead right here, just playing it extremely safe with that stillness buff still up. They have Ulrun off the map, able to take him down. Edison now looking for a temple decap. They're feeling really comfortable about these skirmishes. Otherwise, they probably wouldn't have given that up. And that's exactly what happens. Able to take down Feov here and reclaim this node once again for themselves.
Yeah, Bear right now struggling to stay alive here. I mean, there's just so much pressure being dropped on top of him, especially when Edison gets involved like he is right now, jumping all over Bear, who's trying just to get a couple of his heals out there and, you know, get back to a healthy state where he can take Edison on and maybe size him up a little bit. But still, I mean, Edison, this is his style. Just run in, just tap him real quick. Make sure you start pulling cooldowns, because if you start getting these guys playing defensively and get them a little bit, I mean, almost kind of scare them a little bit, you're going to be pulling cooldowns like that distortion, and you're going to be able to then jump on top of them with some more burst later on. And he's been very, very, very good about forcing these kinds of things out so he can create favorable opportunities for himself.
This is not the Never Lucky I'm used to seeing here. It feels like they're, like you said, they're really defensive. They're really on edge, it feels like, and they're not making these aggressive plays I feel like they've made in the past. Now we do have both buffs up once again, but Wang is down there to meet Ulrun. Easy Peasy is just on top of their game right now, not letting anything slip through the cracks here, as we have both of these buffs now available. But Stillness was capped by Never Lucky before the second one came through here, but of course Edison on top of that point, going to be able to mitigate. And there's the Stillness cap. There's a 4 cap from Easy Peasy. They are well on their way to claiming that third place spot in the standings.
Yeah, honestly, just dominating Never Lucky here. And Bear was able to get that cap, but this whole game, Edison has been bullying this guy. And even last game, we saw the same thing with Edmonton and Edison together, just jumping on top of Bear, you know, creating 2v1s and stuff that would just eventually just drop him. And you know, on top of that, you also have the Chudat versus Sunfish matchup that we see a lot of. And with, you know, Edison adding to these fights as well, just cleaving down Sunfish, I mean, that will happen very quickly. And while I would definitely, I would definitely not want to put Edison in a fight near Sunfish. If he's getting really, really low, certainly Edison's the right person for the job to finish that one out. But I mean, again, look where Chudat's at, right next to him. So if at any point he needs to make that move to go up, then he's right there, and he's always ready to make sure that he gets those condies that are being applied by Sunfish off of himself and his teammates. So this is honestly just a really, really smart conquest that Easy Peasy has been playing for this latter half of the season, actually the whole season really in general. Certainly we've seen some mistakes from this team, but the growth that we've seen has outweighed those mistakes, I mean, by far. And what we're seeing right now is probably the best conquest I have ever seen from Easy Peasy.
110%. Easy Peasy with this victory. It will be 502 to 188. They will claim a third place in the standings. That's going to push Final Form to 4th place and Never Lucky to 5th place. So we do have 3rd through 8th all solved just from those first 2 games there. So let's take a look at some opening splits. Looks like Zeroma's going to head straight to the windmill. They are going to have Physics head to the mansion here. So could potentially see a 1v1 if Schnicky wants to go towards windmill. Wow, the first trebuchet shot I've seen in a while coming out there. Actually, probably all season long, the first Treb shot coming out from SupQD. Now, we do have some stealth coming out here. Let's take a look at what we're going to be having here from Duck and Schnicky.
It looks like both teams setting up for a big fight here on Clock Tower. That stealth setup
Did you see that?
looking like they're looking for Zeroma. Zeroma should be able to sustain this, I do believe, and certainly with Duck as the one plussing that fight, that's going to be something that they have to worry about, because Duck might just die on accident, because that Thief, and it's not necessarily a problem with Duck, it's just the Warrior just puts out such good pressure. If Duck gets hit by that headbutt, he's pretty much dead.
Yeah, that's pretty much true, especially if he doesn't have Shadow Step available. Urantian, though, going to help him out. Actually, Urantian running the longbow today as opposed to the sword dagger, just a kind of a heads up there. And looked for Duck, able to get a nice knockback, some damage out onto him. SupQD, however, is pretty low here. Duck actually forced back towards that windmill node, trying to plus it once again, as Zeromus is actually kind of winning this 1v1. Now going to get hit pretty hard by Duck. Needs to be able to maintain himself as Urantian coming to support him.
Yeah, but he's going to be able to put some pressure on Duck now, and he does have that Berserk, so he's going to be able to get some of those Condis off, and a huge heal there coming from Urantian. He's looking to take down Schnicky once again. And now Schnicky is in a little bit of trouble here, as Zeromus is incredibly healthy in this matchup. Dodges the headbutt as well there. And that's a huge pickup with the pin down with 15 stacks of bleed, 18 stacks of bleed on Schnicky there.
But they were just cleansed, if I'm not mistaken, by Cast coming in there, able to even cleanse him himself, and he's under so much heat. Look at the Condi still ticking on top of Schnicky, as there's a recap from Final Form. What a way to start this game. They have just been tearing Spooky apart, and excellent job from Zeromus, able to stay alive under so much pressure here at the windmill.
Yeah, Schnicky's still fighting to stay alive at the moment. Same with Urantian. I mean, this has gone back and forth, but certainly Final Form is having the advantage as they have control of the map. I mean, across the board here, and they are just surging ahead in the points. Meanwhile, Urantian has still been struggling to stay alive, and he does go down right now, and it's going to be Cast actually who was interrupted when he was trying to get his Obsidian Flesh Stomp there, and they are going to get Urantian back up and into this fight here, and he's going to try to stay alive.
Ozzy using his heal when Urantian's not even close to him. Of course, he needed his own support. If he was stuck in a bit of a bad spot, just lightning flash right to Urantian, man. Get him the heals he needed, and Urantian's okay now, but now Ozzy under a lot of heat. Duck actually taken down here, as we have 4 out of 4 from both teams, or excuse me, 4 out of 5 from both teams sitting over here at the windmill still. A bit of an off-point skirmish onto Bob, who needs to be careful. A lot of heat coming down onto him from Brenslow. This is just an all-out brawl, but look at what Final Form, look at the build they have built. Excuse me, the lead they have built over the past couple of minutes here.
Yeah. And Duck found out what happens when you're in a fight next to a Warrior. He just was dodging around and just got swatted like a fly there from Zeromus, and now he's back up. He's going to be looking for an engagement to get into, and that's going to be SupQD as they take him down, and that's Physics now trying to put some pressure onto this body, trying to make sure that they actually get that kill on SupQD. Duck's going to be able to do just that as well, but Physics still kind of struggling. Urantian certainly has the ability to finish that one off, but with Duck in the area, he's going to be able to sustain that one out. Now Physics is looking incredibly healthy, and it's Urantian that needs to be very, very careful, as he's a mob there, and they take the kill on him as well. It's just one of those situations where, I mean, we're only, we're less than 4 minutes into this game, and already the points are almost halfway over in favor of Final Form. So even if they're able to get something, they're going to be hard-pressed to come back into this game and actually win it out.
I mean, 4 minutes into this game, they've got over 240 points here. I mean, Final Form's 3 cap. They were coming in here, out for blood, of course. They're not a team to really mess around. There's a 2 cap, first 2 cap of the game coming out here for Spooky on both the side nodes. We'll have to see if that's swiftly taken away from them by Final Form, who are really pressuring this windmill node. And it seems that Spooky really not able to dedicate a whole lot of resources here. They've still got 3 members hovering around this clock tower node.
Yeah, and Duck is now looking to take down Bob, but Bob just accepts all that pressure with the Glint heal, and Duck is still really low, so he's going to be struggling to try to find a good engagement for himself there, and Schnicky now is not looking too good. Zeromus was able to kill off Cast, and also it looks like they're going to be able to potentially take down Schnicky as well, as he's incredibly low right now, although Brenslow has made his way over, and now he's going to be able to assist in this fight. Zeromus, though, just landed a huge burst on Schnicky there, and Schnicky goes down. Bob back in this fight. They're going to pick another kill off of this in the form of Brinslow as well. This is absolutely insane from Zeromus here.
If I'm Zeromus, I'm saying, hey, Bob, stay out of this. I got this 1v2, man. I would have liked to see him take that because he obviously had Schnicky down without Bob's help, and Brinslow was not very healthy at that either, and I feel like Zeromus probably wouldn't have been able to take that. What a play coming out from him. Still, it looks like Spooky going to be able to hold on to the mansion. The 2-cap going to come through for final form, hitting that 300-point mark in just a moment now. Durantian stealthed up, looking for some decap now. Does have the longbow, but again, it's against an engineer. Very difficult to get that knockback with the longbow onto the NG.
Yeah, and now Yura is going to be able to, I don't know why Duck went for the pick there when Yura had the Signet Stone up already, but nonetheless, a lot of that burst is going to be lost there into the Signet Stone, and Yura is going to be incredibly safe at the moment. Duck forced to rotate off, maybe over towards this Bob. Potential kill as he's incredibly low right now. 12 bleed stacks on him. He's able to cleanse all of those off, and still, I mean, look at Bob doing the same thing that we saw earlier on Temple there from Hypno, just staying alive despite all, I mean, any guess would say he's dead in any second now, but able to get all those peels, all those heals as well, and he's able to sustain this one out, and the water heal comes out as well, and
Bob.
he is back up and into it, very healthy at the moment, and now he's looking to take Schnicky out, and it looks like actually going to be changing to Brinslow. But I mean, still, that's the second time we've seen today a Revenant able to sustain for a ridiculous amount of time with no HP, just kind of getting a lot of peels from him, I mean, just from himself, but also from his team especially, and Ozzy doing a great job getting those heals.
I mean, look how bulky his armor is. That has to be a contributing factor to why he was able to stay alive there. And
Fashion
it looks
Wars
like,
too, man.
Yeah, a decap came out there in favor of Spooky, who are able to mitigate any point income now from final form. I'm really looking forward to this 1v1. Zeromus and Schnicky going at it. We've seen Zeromus and Schnicky, you know, in a 1v1 earlier in this game, and Zeromus seemed to have the advantage, but this really could go either way. I feel there's obviously skill into it, but if you're able to land a single like headbutt and get your burst down, you can really force a lot of cooldowns out of your opponent there and take a massive lead in the 1v1. Oh, nice block coming out there from Zeromus here. Schnicky is a little low in this fight. We'll come back to this one in a moment. I feel like that could last quite some time. Meanwhile, this clock tower looks like final form comes up with it.
Yeah, they look pretty good right here. Duck forced off of another fight as he's really kind of struggled to find a good spot. They're only the easiest pick for him to make is against a warrior that he doesn't want to be even near.
Yeah.
I mean, even in a 2v1 setting, it's very hard for him to find you know, ample opportunity for him to just jump in, because even if he gets the stun, Headbutt has the stun break inside of it, and if he gets counter butted right there, you know, that's going to lead to some trouble where he's going to get swatted out like we saw earlier.
Durantian able to keep himself up from the pressure from Duck. Duck obviously trying to find a new target, as it seems like Zeromus has not been a successful one for him. Meanwhile, Bob in the 1v1 with Physics. Physics should be able to sustain this for quite some time. We'll have to see if he's able to keep himself up. Meanwhile, Cast able to keep himself alive with the rebound there over here at the windmill. He's running low on cooldowns here. Shocking Aura is about the only defensive thing he has available aside from that lightning flashes. Still a 1-cap apiece now. 6:30 remaining in this game. 385 to 225. Still a massive lead for final form. Looking very strong and poised to take this game #1.
Yeah, Cass being taken down. I mean, Zeromus has done such a great job despite him going down right now. Schnicky able to get that kill, but they're able to get him right back up with Cass dropping out and then, you know, getting that rally off. Bob right now in a 1v1 against Physics. Looks like that is pretty even at the moment, although Bob gets a huge heal there, and he's going to be actually rotating out of this. That's actually interesting. I thought he
Well, he knows there's a respawn as well, so he's potentially looking for Bob.
But the respawn was in Ellie, so
True.
It's not like it was any kind of lethal respawn that he needed to
mean,
sure
it turned out to be a good move because he could just face reversal to the Thief on mid. So, even though it may be not the greatest choice to leave the 1v1 he had the advantage in, it ended up paying off for him.
Put some pressure on Duck, and that's certainly one of his jobs as this Retribution Rev. So that's, I can see both sides. I definitely, I wouldn't harp on that at all. Certainly a good option for himself, and he decided to take that route instead of the other one, which is totally fine. And now we're going to be seeing actually final form with the 2-cap here. They did give up that mansion. They're going to be completely giving it up there, as SupCutie is going to be trying to take on Physics here, actually taking him down to 50% HP, and he's getting that full reset there with the Signet.
Well, you got to keep in mind here, I mean, they're 30 points away from taking this game #1. It's looking very grim here for Spooky. 25 points here for Final Form, continuing to hold on to this 2-cap. I don't see anything of a comeback for Spooky in the remaining 4 minutes now. So more than likely going to be a game #1 in favor of Final Form. Moving over to Temple of the Silent Storm. Of course, the Thief going to heavily favor Spooky in terms of some mobility, but I mean, Final Form, man, they just win in all the fights. There's Aromas, a real threat in that game. All right, well, game #2 here on Temple of the Silent Storm. Starting up, let's take a look at some opening splits with Schnicky heading to the altar. Zeromus, no, don't go to the temple. Oh, man, Schnicky, no, we wanted to see the 1v1 there. And it looks like they're going to go opposite ways. Taking a look at what's happening on the map, though. A very quick move from SupCutie, using a lot of his mobility, looking for a decap. He's just sitting around here. He doesn't even want to fight Schnicky here. He just wants to go in for the back cap.
Yeah, he's just kind of waiting here. I don't know if Schnicky even knows that he's there. Schnicky's just leaving this one, and SupCutie is walking straight in. And what a sly move from SupCutie to get this one. And I'm sure Schnicky doesn't even realize yet. And once he does, you know, he's going to be like, what? You know, damn it, you know?
And it looks like Cass is under a lot of pressure here at the mid node coming out from Bob. Bob's doing an excellent job of continuing to bring out relentless pressure. Ozzy actually taken into the downstate. I fear that's the end of him. I don't think Urantian and Bob are going to be able to get him back up. But in the meantime, the 1-cap coming out here for Final Form over at the altar node. As Aroma is still in that 1v1 with Physics, who is, that's a very surprisingly close match here.
Yeah, and Duck did just manage to take Bob down, but you know, with the help of Urantian, they take Duck down. It just reversed back, and now Schnicky is going to have to try to put some pressure down on top of them. But with Yura able to cleanse a lot of those conditions, once he gets into that Celestial Avatar form, a lot of that pressure is going to be mitigated entirely. So right now, while we did just see Physics stomp out Zeromus.
He got plussed by Brenslow in that fight there. So that, and Zeromus is already low. There wasn't really a whole lot he would have been able to do. That's finally going to give.
Oh, Schnicky. Oh, no. Bob just surged straight through the guy and took him right out there. So that's a kill for them now. And they're going to be surging back into that midpoint. And it looks like SupCutie Ozzy already kind of starting that one off, trying to put some pressure on Brenslow, who actually has taken a lot of condition pressure so far. Does have that heal ready to go, and he is going to pop it now and get back up to full HP, and they're looking towards Cast instead here. I mean, a lot of Final Form members on this point. They're actually going to get the decap there with Duck.
I don't like this by Final Form right now. Last game it was all Zeromus in these side node fights, and now they're putting Zeromus in these team fights. I think he needs to try to force some 1v1s. I mean, obviously there's a couple, maybe a guy or two he doesn't want to be in a 1v1 with, not maybe Cast at that, but I feel like Cast compared to Elementalist from last match, Chudat, I don't really see that as a match that Zeromus can't win by any means. So I wish he would be in more 1v1s here. We'll have to see, but take a look at what's going on here. A lot of off-road skirmishes now are going down. The 2-cap, though, in favor of Spooky.
Yeah, poor Duck, man. Like, every time he tries to go into this fight, Zeromus accidentally hits him with headbutt cleave and just forces him out of the fight. I mean, it's not even just like the young Gunna just like throwing damage down on top of him. He literally just accidentally hits him with headbutt, and then Duck has to leave. It's, you know, poor guy. He has to just completely try to play around that, and it's been a struggle for him so far. And it's really kind of emphasized the problem with this this team right now, where it's a compositional issue with this Warrior v Warrior thing, where they're playing on all points. They have Physics just sitting back at home, even though who's going to come back and back cap that? They know where everyone is. SupCutie in the meantime going for that cap there on the top buff, and he's actually going to get it and then port back over for the decap. Are you kidding me, SupCutie?
Oh, man.
Oh, man.
Physics picks up a decap, but it's a little slower than what SupCutie. SupCutie had a strategy in mind there, was able to capitalize on it. I like that. Still, in the end, doesn't end up getting as much as he could have potentially the full 100% benefit of the stillness buff, but it will take for quite some time now, and they will hold on to that 2-cap here as they continue to try and kill Brenslow over at the altar. 1 cap apiece now, actually 2 caps still, but Brenslow taking into the downstate. Cast looking for the res. They're able to get him back up into the fray of things, but Brenslow now once again under so much heat. Might be taken down by Bob and Zeromus, as Schnicki is actually under a lot of pressure as well. 8 bleeds taken for him, able to cleanse those. And Zeromus out, or excuse me, Final Form, you know, as a team trying to get them out for blood here over at the altar.
Man, I'm still not over Subcutie just getting inside of everyone's head. And he's now in a 1v1 with Physics, the person who he just juked out, actually. So we'll see how that goes in a, you know, just a stand-up fight here, as we already know who wins in terms of mind games from what we've seen so far. But, I mean, this is still certainly something that Physics would be hard for us to win. But
Brenslow, as low as 600 health there, and Condi's taking on him. Now has his glint heal up to, oh man, he is just taking full advantage of the glint heal here. He will be okay, and Zeromus has to be kicking himself for not being able to finish him off. Cast, of course, going to be able to support him for quite some time. But on the map, it looks like we actually had Schnicki does Vengeance in the 1v1 with Bob. Bob knows that's not really anything he needs to worry about here. I'm not so sure on that Vengeance.
yeah, and that's going to be Schnicki dying off right there. Ozzy now with Bob in this 2v1 here against Brenslow. That's going to be something that Brenslow's not going to be winning at all. But right now we are seeing a 2 cap in favor of Final Form. This is surely a little bit more of a slow-paced game, but nonetheless still very much going in Final Form's favor so far, as they've now hit the 200-point mark with that 2 cap still ticking away. And they are getting pretty dangerously close now to that 830 buff coming off. And that's going to be a situation where they can really start rocketing away and then take this game pretty quickly. So we'll be looking forward to that. Meanwhile, though, Duck now is rotating off of that far point fight, lost Physics there, so now he's going to be trying to just get away from Subcutie, who's just all over him right now. And it looks like Bob is actually kind of going to be the one to try to...
Duck is, poor Duck, he's just running away. He can't do anything here, unfortunately. It's not even on him by any means. Yeah. It's just the way that Final Form is adapting to how he's playing. Like this,
everybody just chasing him around.
Yeah, I mean, we do have buffs, but 5 seconds, though, and nobody is close to the top buff now, as Zeromus is going to make his way.
No one at the bottom buff either.
Well, Zeromus is going to be the only one here, but it looks like Cast is going to follow him up. Doesn't have Lightning Flash, but Zeromus just starting the channel here. He doesn't need to worry about not getting there in time. He'll be able to do just that. There's the interrupt. Knocking him down right away. Still a 2 cap here for Final Form. About 275 to 119 with 8:10 on the clock here. Looking to clean up this series with a victory here.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. And now Zeromus is going to be putting a lot of pressure down on Cast. Ooh, actually Brenslow is taken down there. That's going to be Subcutie probably taking that that top buff once they kill that guy off. And they are going to be going for that. So if they are able to take that bottom buff, and they certainly have the map control to do just that, they're going to, I mean,
oh man, nice knockback.
That's going to be insane.
Your Urantian just got the entangle, or excuse me, the traded entangle onto Schnicki there from the knockback, and taking a 4 cap with the stillness. They lost gate, but still a 4 cap is something to be fairly confident about moving forward throughout the remainder of this game here, as Schnicki is under so much heat from that smoke scale itself. And Urantian, now Bob looking to get on top of him. Is he able to keep himself up here? I don't know. He doesn't have a whole lot of support available from Brenslow at that. His Elementalist is down bot, remember, with Zeromus. Wouldn't be surprised if Zeromus kind of gave up that fight, but Schnicki now taken down.
Oh man, I mean, Bob took a lot of pressure there at the end there from Brenslow, and Schnicki is just, Schnicki was not able to stay up a little bit longer there to make sure that they got him down. In the meantime, though, he's going to be taken out completely. Brenslow kind of left alone. He's going to be chasing Bob out of this fight, but with Urantian's help, I mean, that's really going to amount to nothing for this the Spooky team here. In the meantime, though, Subcutie was just taken out by Physics and Duck, and now they're going to be looking to try to take down Ozzy, and they could potentially take that kill for sure, but
Ozzy has a lot to sustain himself. I'm not so sure. Oh, wow, I take that back. Didn't have anything available and just gets bursted down there. Nice play coming out from those two. Duck especially able to, you know, finish him off and seal the deal there. Still about 75 points away for Final Form.
Yeah.
Don't really need to worry too much about this.
Looking, like I said, pretty cut and dry. Yeah. This is, I mean, Final Form is just a really strong team. They're proving that right now as well. Zeromus has done exceptionally well all game. Cast doing the same thing, actually, that we saw in the last matchup. With Chudat actually doing it first.
I take back what I said earlier. I thought Zeromus would have an easier time with Cast, but I take that back completely. Good job from Cast you know, just completely sustaining himself against Aromas, and clearly Aromas not able to finish him off or do anything at that to him. So just going to kind of rely on everyone at the top. But still, Final Form not able to quite finish this game off. We do have Stillness up in about 10 seconds now, but there's nothing. Oh, Subcutie taken out in the ropes as well. Where was this from Spooky 10 minutes ago?
Yeah, I mean, 530 buff coming up right now, so that's top buff right there. Refresh, Duck right now, still trying to cleave down Urantian, cleave down that downstate of Subcutie. It doesn't look like it's worked so far, as Duck has just been knocked down over and over and over again. And now, with the help of Schnicki, though, Urantian has taken a considerable amount of pressure here outside Celestial Avatar form. He's not going to be able to get back into that really quickly to be able to get those conditions off of him.
See a 3 cap here. Maybe. I don't think Urantian's going to be able to sustain too long. Okay. Yeah, even against Physics, full health. And they get Stillness. Don't tell me this is happening. I mean, this is the map to do it, but Final Form.
It's possible here.
It is. It really is. They could definitely. Nice thunderclap coming out there from Physics, able to get Urantian off the point. Oh, man, I feel like you should just sit on it. Just get on the point, cap it, man. Get the 6 cap for your team.
That was 1 tick away, wasn't it?
It was about 1 tick away, and just decided to leave it there and kind of allow for some. But now Physics,
especially with the stillness up too, man.
I don't like that Physics is kind of left alone here. He's under a lot of heat now. Might be able, does have his heals, so he should be okay. But I mean, they're down 138 points right now. This could very well be Spooky pushing it to a game 3.
Again, nothing is impossible on this map, I feel like. I mean, we've seen some crazy stuff. We've seen crazy stuff on Kylo, but this is certainly one of those maps where things get even crazier, and Physics now.
Oh, Casto, take a look at Cast down low. He's finally taken out by Zeromus. I just saw his Connie bar.
Can we get a timer on that one, though?
He just blew up his Connie bar. It seems like Zeromus finally forced some cooldowns out of Cast. Finally got him into a position where he forced a mistake or two, potentially. Didn't dodge roll, a headbutt, or something like that. Takes him out. Regardless, Final Form picks up the temple. Gonna be able to pick up the gate and shut down any last remaining hopes from Spooky.
I mean, that almost took 5 minutes to happen, though.
It really did.
But it happened.
Well, we don't actually know if they were trying the entire time. I wasn't looking down
I was watching it. They were trying the whole time.
Okay.
I mean, we were seeing a lot of passive play, though, from Cast, as all he has to do is just maintain that 90% mark. So certainly he wasn't going like crazy high APM, but Zeromus was trying to bait cooldowns, trying to look for openings, trying to put down some kind of baits a little bit so he can get those setups to maybe make that kill. It's just, it never happened until, you know, almost 5 minutes later.
Well, congratulations to Final Form, ending their season with a 500-342 2-0 victory over Spooky there, and obviously nothing changed. Still going to come out with the 4th place finish. Spooky as well at 7th place in the final standings. The final game of the regular season. Let's take a look at some opening splits here. As we have Nas heading to the windmill, we're going to be having Muffins head to the mansion here, as we do have a hard-hitting squad running around with Toker looking for their first victim. Let's head back to the map here and see what they're going to be doing here.
Ooh, pretty interesting split here. Fanaram trying to set up on Java, but it doesn't look like that's actually going to happen. He has to wait for that second phase traversal to happen, and it's going to be K-Pud now trying to peel for Java, and this is going to turn into another one of those situations where it's going to be a really heavy fight on mid, and this is something that Fanaram has to be kind of careful of, because without some support, he's going to be kind of trained around by K-Pud, and we've seen what happens when K-Pud trains on people, because, I mean, that is just so ruthless. It's so much damage you have to worry about. And he's down to now 2k HP, and it looks like he's able to just get enough peels from his teammates, especially now that Java was taken down. They're going for the res. They get him back up. Java trying to go for the heal, but he doesn't get it. Forced into that Reaper, and he doesn't have a lot of health outside of this now with 4k HP. Does have the stab to come out right now, and he's going to be trying to sustain that Reaper Shroud right now with the 4 so that he can try to get some of that life force back. But
both teams actually taking a 1 cap now and back up in the fight. Like you said, Java was under a lot of heat now, up to 100%
What
HP
timing,
here.
Man. What
and
timing.
Now Chaith is going to be the main target. Look at the con he's taking on him. He doesn't have a whole lot to deal with this here. Needs to be very careful. Wakey trying to dish out some heals. There's a decap from Toker. Nice decap portal coming out there from Muffins. He'll pick it up over at the windmill, but Chaith is taken into the downstate. Will we see the stomp come through? I'm not so sure. There's a lot of damage coming out from these guys. They're not going to be able to get him back up after this one.
Yeah, 5 gauge is taken completely out. Nos with full help, full Reaper all over Muffins right now, who's forced to kind of try to rotate out of this fight, looking to set up some pressure now onto Wakey, who's accepting all of it, but it's Nos actually looks like he's trying to figure out an ample time now for himself to force a lot of pressure on Muffins because Wakey is getting quite low, so they need to be very, very careful in this situation here.
And it looks like Nos is going to be here with Wakey looking to take on this 2v2. Meanwhile, around the map, it looks like Fanaram was eliminated over here, but it looks like Chaith going in for the res. There's a lot of cleave coming out from K-Put and Java. Isn't enough to keep him down. Neither going in for the stomp. They know they need to keep the cleave up, and Chaith taking a lot of damage in the process. Elixir S going to pop for him. He's going to get back up, though. Get his teammate back up, rather. And Fanaram taking him right back into the downstate. Chaith knows there's nothing he can do to save his teammate here. Going to be forced to use Rocket Jump to get right on out of there and try his best to stay alive, but I fear that the Condies will get the best of him, and he's going to be taken down now. 2 guys off the map for Astral.
Yeah, and Nos actually isn't looking too good himself in that MOA right now. K-Pud just training him out. Muffins on top of him as well. They take Nos out so quickly there, so efficiently, and that's going to be another cap. That's going to be a 2 cap. Yeah, so, and Chaith still bleeding out with those Rise minions on top of him, so that's going to be a really, really slow bleed out for him. Nos going to be coming up around the same time. Toker taking some pressure at that midpoint. He's just trying to find a place to be, and we've seen this before with Duck as well, where it's hard to find a place to go when
your team's losing elsewhere around the map. Yeah. I mean, it's very difficult, and we still have Wakey still alive here at the mid node. If there's anything Wakey can do exceptionally well, it's stay alive in 1v2s. We've seen it time after time from him. Such a good player on the Elementalist, and gonna still have Toker in the area trying to do what they can to these guys. Still 100-point lead for Team PZ, not even 4 minutes into this game. 5 gauge getting the tornado this time around, has already had Rampage once here, but Astral Authority struggling to get anything going for themselves.
The funny thing is about Wakey is that honestly, sometimes I question if he actually knows what's even happening, which is so insane because, like, if you ask him, like, hey, how are you doing this, man? How are you sustaining 1v2 like this? How are you able to get so much support to your teammates? And he's just like, I don't know, man. I just click my buttons and it just, you know what I mean?
That's just his personality, though. So I could see how Wakey would say something like that. Anyhow, Astral going to come up with the cap clock tower. Fanaram and Nos going to force these guys out, pick up a couple kills for themselves. They're not giving up just yet. We will see a 2 cap come out here for Astral. I like this regroup, though, from Team PZ before they make another push.
Nos right now getting kind of low. Does get his heal off, though, and he is running that Triton Curses, so he is going to be able to get really low cooldowns with that. And running against a Necro, I mean, this is, I believe, the first time we've seen Necro v Necro all day. So this is definitely an interesting matchup. A lot of people kind of counted Necro out of the meta, and yet here are the top 2 teams in NA both running it.
Both running basically the top 2 Necros in NA as well. So definitely not surprised by any means, and still holding on to a 2 cap, trying to get themselves back into this game now. It looks like Java is taking a lot of heat here. Has 100% in that Death Shroud, but is making an aggressive move still back onto these guys. Very confident that his support from Zeus will keep him up. Actually has consumed conditions. Nice decap from Toker. Going to come out there. I don't think Zeus is able to make it there in time. No, he's not. I really like that move from him. That's what we need to see from Toker.
Yeah, that's really, really effective use of that Thief, of that role that he's taking up. So now we're going to be seeing the 2 cap in favor of Astral, still kind of ticking away. They're catching up to PZ now, and it's going to be down to this team fight at mid here that's really kind of not going either way at the moment. They're really, really, really close in terms of capabilities to take team fights between these 2 teams. I mean, they're really both so strong, and this is, I mean, this is what we wanted, man. This is the matchup we've been waiting for all season here, and this is it. Both teams so close right now.
Toker going for that decap. Once again, we see the Elixir X Rampage coming out here for Chaith, trying to pound away onto these guys. Taking a little bit of Condi pressure, but Wakey, of course, ripping those off of him. Needs to use that Elixir C. Should be okay. Wakey taking a fair amount of damage as well. The decap, like I said, coming out there. Oh, man, a decap coming out from Muffins as well, but we see Java taking it in the downstate. That's going to be Paul taking it in the downstate as well. This could be a wipe at the team fight as we see Muffins actually come back through the portal. I think that as soon as he knew his teammates were low, Muffins should have stayed at the windmill, perhaps, had his teammates peel out. But they were down 2 guys there, so probably would not have been able to maintain his health pool at the windmill. And Astral, once again, going to come out with the 2 cap after another team fight. After this next team fight, regardless of whether or not Astral wins it, I feel they're going to have a lead now.
Did you see that?
There's the 2-cap that just came out there. Nos able to get the windmill. Now it's going to be PZ regrouping, trying to find a place to just kind of really jump in and try to find a vulnerability for them to take advantage of, maybe take a pick here. That's kind of what they're looking for. Seems as though they're looking for Toker, who's just...
He's just messing with their heads, man.
Yeah, the longer they are looking around for Toker, the longer, you know, they're just taking a 2-cap away. And this is this is what Astral's been so good about doing since, I mean, really, a year and a half in the making. This is it.
And Java now taking a fair amount of damage.
34 stacks of bleeds on him for a second there.
Wow, able to get rid of them though and pick up the decap, still maintaining a 9-point lead here. Looking for a kill onto Nos, however, who has 100% HP in that Reaper Shroud, is forced to use it as K-Pud landed a... Oh man, gets mowed though by Muffins. Now Nos is going to be able to... Oh man, rebound is out onto him thanks to Wakey, but he might be taken in the downstate, is able to get consumed conditions off in time, has suffer up in a couple seconds as well.
Java.
Will be okay. Gonna be interrupted.
The timing on the heel, man.
Wow. Wow, Java taken down there. And I fear that's the end of this fight here for Team PZ unless they're able to get him back up. I don't think so. There's so much damage. Muffin, Zeus taking down K-Pud. Might follow into the downstate as well. 11-12 bleeds on him. That's a 4-man wipe here. And PZ comes out with a 2-cap.
I mean, we saw this as well from when they fought Never Luckiest. I mean, even on this map, even that they can lose fights all day, and yet still, they just, Muffins throws down the portal, a couple guys come out, they get the decaps, they get the full caps, and they're walking away with a point advantage despite the fact that they just lost their whole team.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the res thanks to Muffins' portal as Zeus was able to vapor form through it and still ended up losing Clock Tower. But, I mean, they got a little bit of distance for their lead here, but by the next team fight, I fear that they're going to be able to, that Astral's going to be able to close that gap. We actually saw some Treb play coming out there from Muffins as Toker looked for another decap, not able to pick that one up. Muffin's going to kind of be cut out here by Thanerim. Not really a situation he wants to be in, but they're really trying hard to make this track over to the windmill node. It looks like to force the 2v2 here.
Yeah, and that's going to be K-Pud and Zeus and Nos and Chase. So that's certainly, I would probably give that to PZ, although it doesn't look like they're going to even go for it. They're going to instead look to take down Fanaram, and Fanta is looking fairly healthy. Instead, they're going to look at Chaith, and Chaith now is down to about 10% HP, and he's going to, oh, he gets healed in that S. And that's going to be Wakey saving the day for them, because, I mean, if that fight turned back around, now that we're tied up, I mean, that could have been huge. I mean, that could have been hugely pivotal.
And now Java taking into the downstate. Oh man, a huge stun coming out for these guys. Are they able to get jump back? Oh man, Java is back up into the fight now. Still at 50% HP in both health pools. He's going to be chipped away very fast now. Look at the Condies, 22 stacks of bleeds onto him right there, coming out from Nos and company. That's going to be the end of him. Thankfully, this time, he doesn't lose his whole team in the process.
Yeah, now we do see Astro with the lead. They're going to be getting that full cap back. They actually got the decap there over with Toker. Toker just doing what Toker does, man. Getting that decap. Paul's going to be forced to try to just sit down on this thing and get that full cap back. A lot of time wasted here. Points accumulated for Astro in the meantime. Definitely.
Oh man, Chaith in the 1v1 with Muffins. Look at the Condies sticking onto him. Chaith doesn't want to move because of the torment. This is a great fight for Muffins right here. Really forcing Chaith to use a lot of his cooldowns. He doesn't have anything left aside from Elixir X up in 5 seconds, which could be Muffins forced to leave this fight, who doesn't have Moa, a safe Moa to use, up for another 50 seconds with Continuum split here, but has Toker all over him. Meanwhile, that Clock Tower fight still going strong for both teams here, and it looks like Zeus and Zeus and K-Pud, they were very low, able to get some heals out and keep themselves alive.
Yeah, now this is a 3v2 actually on this point. Actually, it just turned into a 3v3 here. And that's going to be, I mean, huge. I mean, honestly, the thing is, though, is that all Astral has to do at this stage is sustain. And Zeus getting incredibly low, and Toker takes him out as Zeus ports up to the ceiling there. Toker follows him, almost instantaneous reaction time.
And that's just after getting a decap over at the mansion. They're forced to recap it once again. That's going to be 3 members off the board for Team PZ. Ever so slowly falling behind. 100 points here for Astral to take this game number 1. PZ behind them just about 50 points, but the 2-cap prevailing for Astral, who are looking strong and poised to take this game at number 1.
Yeah, I mean, Toker has been just toying with Paul lately, it seems, and looks like he's going to try to do just the same and once again, but Paul is going to see this one coming this time. It looks like Toker might give it a go to go for that 1v1 a little bit. It doesn't look like that actually might be the case, as Toker's just going to go ahead and leave that fight. Wakey getting kind of low at mid, but again...
Oh, man, trap play. Oh, Wakey digging down. There was no way he was going to get out of that one. Now Wakey forced to drop down. They should be able to finish him off. This is like the last chance, I'd say, Team PZ have to get back into this game. They need to finish off Fanaram. Yeah, Fanaram. There are a lot of heat, and it looks like, oh man, landed Trebuchet hit, if I'm not mistaken, on a Nos perhaps. I'm not sure if he was able to get out of that one, but Toker was low as well. They might be forced back to the windmill node here.
Yeah, if they can eliminate Nos, and look at the condies on him, they take him out. They're going to be able to get this stomp, and if Toker, I mean, Toker's surely not going to be able to do much about that. It looks like Zeus is going to be able to get that stomp. They're going to go for the decap as well.
But Muffins is taken down. I fear that's the end of the game here. I mean, they've got to win a massive team fight and hope they keep track of Toker now, and still have not managed to get the decap on mid. Because Toker's here, Wakey's here, I think that Astral's got this game #1.
Yeah, it does seem as that is going to be the case, and Fanaram actually might, oh, he does get stomped out. Chaith is getting incredibly low, and they do get the decap, and certainly if they had gotten the decap at mid, this would be a much different story here, as they would be sitting at around 485 with no point accumulation and at all, and Toker dead, you know, all these situations, this would look so different if they were able to get that kill, but they weren't able to get the stomp off on Nos early enough.
And 500 to 419, Astral Authority taking game #1. If Astral take this, they will be the #1 seed. We'll have to see what's going to be happening here, as I'm expecting some crossplay once again from both of these teams. They would not miss an opportunity to do just that, as we have Muffins heading to the altar. It looks like Chaith going to be heading to the temple, and potentially do have crossplay. No, maybe not. They see Paul. They want to kind of shy away from that, heading back to the view of Toker here. Look to stealth up his teammates, but going to redo that here and look for a target at the mid node.
Yeah, and that target is going to be Wakey, and we're going to be seeing a huge adjustment from Astral. Nos, Toker, and Fana already in this fight here, looking to take down Java, and who's now at about 60% HP, does get that Plague Signal off, so he's going to be okay for the meantime. But 12 stacks, 16 stacks of that poison. That's going to be so much pressure on top of him, and he's probably going to be dying out. Look at the pressure on top of him with Fana's quickness autos. I mean, you can't there's no getting around that.
You can't let Nos free roam like that. Just do what he wants to. I mean, there was no one really trying to take care of him there. Now we see Toker capitalizing. There's first TCAP of the game coming out there from Toker, as he is going to be forcing Paul back to that node. And they're just dominating the first fight right out of here. Nice portal coming out there from Muffins. Going to be able to pick up that temple node.
Yeah, it's just going to be, you know, a pickup of gate. Wakey going to get that full cap. They're going to be migrating towards that temple fight there. And that is going to be huge, because there's not going to be any hope for Mesmer to, Muffins on that Mesmer to portal them out of that fight. So they're going to have to either stick around or try to rotate on foot, and that's not going to be, I mean, that's going to be rough for them for sure, unless they can turn this fight around for sure.
And that's something, you know, look at this. Team PZ still losing first team fight, have a 2 cap now. I mean, that's Team PZ for you. That's exactly what they like to do. It feels like they want to lose team fights, so they know how to adjust and get 2 caps. So it looks like Toker, though, picking up a second decap of the game for himself, as always. And Fanaram, though, eliminated on this side of the map now, and Chaith kind of forced out of that, forced to kind of cancel. Oh, Java falling down there, as we see K-Pud coming in from behind there onto Chaith and taking him very low, forced down there. And we will see kind of a 1 cap now come out from both these teams.
Yeah, 5 gauge looking at Java. Java knows that 5 gauge isn't very healthy, so he's just throwing staff marks at the guy at the moment, forcing Chaith to be kind of scared to come down a little bit right now. But, I mean, still, in these team fights, it is going back and forth right here, as Muffins is getting incredibly low. Toker looks to be taking an eye for Zeus at the moment, and Zeus at 40, 50, 60% HP right now. He has low cooldowns. Muffins forced out of all of his cooldowns as well, and the portal does go down, so they could potentially rotate out of this if they decide they want to do that, but it looks like that's not going to be the case. Wakey actually eliminated there. So much pressure being dropped on him, and Fanaram's not going to be able to help that one out. So it's PZ now with a dominating presence on this map, despite the opener here, and despite Toker getting so many decaps, which once again,
it's just
there
Toker.
it is.
This is Toker. I mean, this is exactly what you expect from him. I mean, it's his type of play here, and he's actually going to try and mess around with Paul for a little bit because he's getting help from Chait now. Taking a look at Fanaram here, he's under a lot of heat, does have his heal available, so it's going to kind of push K-Bud and Java back from dealing so much damage to them. They've got 4 members of Team PZ just kind of sitting around that little corridor here, trying to make a push. Perhaps they don't even need to. They do hold on to that 1 cap. We do have stillness up in just a second here as Muffin's going to get it potentially uncontested. No, Toker going to leave Paul alone, and that's kind of a trade. Forced to deal with Muffins or kill Paul, and it looks like he was just going to deal with Muffins there.
Yeah, and Nas is going to be trying to take this 1v1 against Paul here. He could potentially get a huge corrupt here if he plays his cards right, and it's going to be Paul forced into that Slash Avatar form, and Fanaram jumping on top of him. Paul going to be trying to stay alive here, now at about 12k HP here with the poison on top as well. Does have his heal though, so he's going to be safe, and they're going to be battling over that top buff. In the meantime though, 2 cap in favor of Astral. Surging back into this game, man.
Toker getting another look at him right now. This sneaky little daredevil. I mean, this guy.
He's not going to get this one. He's not going to get this one.
He didn't. No, he did have Bassy Venom though, but of course stability from Java. He's just trying so hard.
Well, if he would have landed it with the steal, he would have been able to rip that stab, and he would have been able to get the stun anyway. So I mean, he could have used that, but the question still remains. I mean, would that have been enough time? Because I mean, certainly Java could have popped out, then Plague Signa did, and then just kept going, but. You know, in order to get that steal anyways, he would have had to leave the point.
So. Here too. And we've got a 2-point score differential, a 2-point lead in favor of Astral, 1 cap apiece, and they're looking to actually kill Java now. There's the cap to 2 cap coming out here, prevailing for Team PZ, but Java needs some support, and Zeus going to come in and save the day here as Java needs it desperately in this 2v2. And this looks really good for Team PZ moving into the middle part of this game.
However, Java is still under a lot of pressure here, especially with, I mean, Toker and Fana together with their ability to burst in unison like they did just as we just saw.
But Nas was taken down at mid. They're going to end up getting Gate in exchange for losing Temple.
I believe we also got, I believe top buff actually just went to Astro as well. So once they get that cap, they are going to be evening things up. It is going to be 2-2 if I'm not mistaken. So things will be more or less even. Although PZ did take, I mean, a hefty amount of points away from them.
Oh yeah, 100%. They actually don't. They're not even believe to even get anything out of the stillness buff. I mean, it's already expired here, so Astral is kind of left wondering what they're going to be doing next, and it looks like a push towards the gate is definitely evident here, as Toker is even in the midst of this fight. K-Pud now seems to be the main focus, has his glint heal available outside of this shield block, and he's looking to pressure down onto Nas, who lands the shield the bone, gets a couple of guys with it. Is it enough though? We see actually Muffins heading to the temple. Chaith is going to be the one to deal with him, but back at this mid-fight, this is really not going in anyone's favor thus far, though Nas seems to be the main target.
Yeah, and Toker is kind of struggling to take down Java along with his other teammates here, and Java has maintained some. It doesn't look like that's going to hold out, and he gets taken down. K-Bud going for the res. Wakey looks like he's going for the stomp. Does Fanaram have enough pressure with the autos? And he does. That
we
connects.
Have buffs, though. Look at the buffs. Paul is left alone down bottom. That is a tranquility buff that I don't think Chase is able to get to. Maybe. Oh, no, not in time. That's going to be a 3 cap coming out here for Team PZ, even though Toker will pick up a cap over at the altar node right away. And still, there's, and they get stillness. What is going on here from Astral?
Oh, man.
Just not able to get anything going in their favor at, in the latter half of this game.
Yeah, the rotations from PZ have been so stellar, and we haven't seen as much of what we are used to seeing from PZ, which is Paul and Java together in those 2v2s, because Paul has been basically the answer to Toker. And the reason why Toker hasn't been able to get full caps, because Paul comes over, makes sure that they, tries to prevent the decap. If he does get decapped, then he just goes ahead and sits on the point, and he's able to kind of shoo Toker away. So we haven't seen as much of that duo that we're used to seeing, but it has worked out for them. This kind of new focus on rotational play from PZ has really, really helped them in terms of being able to stand up to this dominant team Astral here.
I mean, it's about 400 to 210 here, 7:15 remaining in this game. Number 2, Team PZ need to come out with a victory if they want to force it to the Forest of Niflhel. We will see a 2 cap come through for Astral. We don't have that stillness buff up for another minute and a half now, so we'll have to see what the next move is for both these teams. Is Toker looking for a bit of a burst play on the Java. Forces a couple cooldowns potentially, looking to get him back. Oh man, look at the con he's taking on thanks to Nos. He is under a lot of pressure now. Paul able to support him for a little bit. Is it enough to keep him alive? Nice heals coming out there from Paul and his stealth to keep him alive.
Yeah, huge play. I mean, Java did have that Plague Signet that he potentially could have used, but decided that he wanted to go for the risky play of getting the bigger heal from Consumed Conditions. And luckily, with Java, he was able to pull that off, though it looks like Toker trying to finish the job as he went back in for the assassination. Not able to get it, though. He is forcing them back over towards their point by, I mean, just by himself, which is certainly a good play to have. It's just a question of if his team is going to be able to make any use of it, because...
But they've got a 2-cap. Team PZ has a 2-cap now, despite the scoreboard there. Temple is in favor of them. Chaith gets the Elixir X Rampage, and it feels like Astral just really struggling to maintain a 2-cap. We had a very nice portal from Muffins earlier, allowed them to get that decap at the Temple here, and actually full cap it for that matter. The stomp on the Muffins will come through. Is it too late though? 45 points remaining for Team PZ to take this series.
20 seconds until the next buffs come up, and right now Java is down. K-Pud struggling to stay alive, has that Rite of the Great Dwarf that's about to wear off right now. They could potentially take him out so quickly, and they do manage to do that. They need to get the stomp as soon as possible so they can get this decap, and they do just push him off, so he's going to be bled out instead, and they get that decap right there. However, now it's up to that altar point. Can they take out Zeus and Paul?
I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh,
I mean,
man, that's going to be so hard to do.
There's so much support from these guys, and it's Toker here with Nos. Nos can't be supported by Toker. Toker's just getting taken down from the AoE itself, and they get the stillness buff capping too. They've got to get a decap here. I just don't see it happening in time.
Yeah, I mean, between both of these guys, Paul and Zeus, Nos just went down to these guys. They're going to be able to... Oh, the Signet Student came up. That's it. That is the game there. Nos gets stomped out. That's going to be 500 to 297. Astral dropping a map there to Team PZ on Temple. So far, you're doing pretty well.
I'm 2-0 for that prediction on the maps there. Let's take a look at some opening splits in our final game here. Looks like neither team going to opt for a cross through the beach. Not too surprising. They're playing it very safe, very defensive here as we move towards, I'm assuming, a very massive fight at this keep node.
Yeah, and looks like they're going to get a quick stealth up on the side of Astral. They're going to be looking for a target here. Wakey already making a move up to that point, and it's going to be Toker, Fanaram, and Nos once again as that little kind of 3-pack looking for a target. And they're going to be looking for, it looks like K-Pud is going to be the one. I expect they'll switch to Java, and they do jump on Java. Java already down to 30% HP, dropping low here, forced so many cooldowns out already in that Reaper Shroud, and they're now trying to counter it back here as Zeus getting ready to put a bunch of support into his teammate here. The heal comes out as well with Consumed Conditions, and look at this Astral team now who are trying to get back on top of Java, but the counter pressure, way too much from these guys.
I mean, look at the health pools on the side of Astral. They're actually able to take down Java. It looks like they're going in for the res. Moa onto Zeus will come through. I don't think they're going to be able to get it back up. I believe that was Toss Elixir X coming out there from Chaith, able to mitigate any res coming out there from Team PZ, who ended up losing a member at that team fight. Muffins might be the next one to fall. Look at the con he's taking on him. Does have that Moa available. Obviously not going to want to use that at this point in the game, and I fear that for Team PZ, the Astral Authority going to come out on top in that first team fight.
Yeah, Muffins does drop. They are able to get that full cap on that midpoint, it looks like, although Paul is trying to make that adjustment and maybe make a move over to that keep. It doesn't look like that is actually going to be the case. I don't think he's going to... Is he going to try for it?
Look at Zeus. Zeus taken down, though, in the roads. A good pickoff from Astral now as they want to finish him off and see if they can seal the kill on him. Zeus, though, went the opposite way. I didn't like that. His team went out the other way. If they wanted any chance whatsoever to get him back up, maybe bring him through the corridor. But of course, Astral would have followed him right up with that, but maybe it was just a distraction. They knew they weren't going to get him back up. Meanwhile, Fanaram is under a lot of heat himself. They're going really aggressive here onto Java.
Yeah, and Java has been under fire for so long here in all these games so far. And it's going to be Paul readying some quick heals to get him back up and into this fight. So they're going to be looking to go back over towards Wakey now, and that's going to be their main thing. But Muffins, yeah, getting so low, portaling back over to this point, almost getting the decap there, but it's going to be, Nos
wow.
with the mark on the portal. What insight, man, being able to see that, what foresight, rather, to be able to see that come in and take him out there. That's a great pickup from them, it looks like.
A nice move from Zeus, knowing that Toker could have went for a decap there, able to shy him away from that one. Astral yet to take claim of the keep now, as it looks like K-Pud is going to be a main target. So is Phantom. Look at the health pools for these guys. Phantom has 7 bleed ticks on him. Is he able to keep himself alive? Looks like he is, thanks to the Calamity Killer coming out from Wakey there. K-Pud, on the other hand, takes a lot of damage, but gets his heal up thanks to that glint. Will be okay for the time being. Both teams looking fairly healthy. Of course, this is a 5v4 in favor of Astral, because Muffins just came off respawn.
Yeah, and he's looking to press far. Chade's going to be able to see that one coming. He's going to make the rotation over there. And look, we haven't seen yet that, that containment that we were talking about, because both of these teams are so evenly matched that, it's so hard to get into a position where you can kind of perform that strategy of locking them into their spawn, locking them into their side, and just hold a 2-cap. No team has been able to get that advantage.
This is the second time this game, and we're not even 4 minutes in. Muffins has off respawn, went for the far point. It really feels like this is a different play style from him. He's looking to divert their attention and really take Toker's attention off of that far node. And look at what happens in the process. They take down Wakey at mid. Nas probably gonna follow shortly thereafter. Look, 18-20 bleed stacks onto him.
Man.
And it looks like that diversion gonna end up paying off here for Team PZ.
And Toker, in the meantime, hasn't been able to get anything. He rotated over to that mine point, tried to get a kill off on Muffins. Muffins just left. So Toker was like, you know what? I'll just go decap far. Paul pulled right off, and he went and blocked him off. These guys are so insane right now with the rotations, and they're going to try to pick off Chaith here, who's forced into that traded S, and he's looking for Wakey to get some heals. Wakey jumping all over him, gets him back up, along with that medic gyro helping out a little bit as well. And Java under a little bit of pressure, but it's Toker who needs to be careful. Look at the Connies on Toker here.
He might be forced to use Shadow Step to get rid of those here. No, he will not. He should be okay. And he's looking for a decap. Like you said, has not found a single decap. And Muffins coming up big there. Able to portal back to the mine, pick up a decap for himself. They will take the lead here with a very comfortable 2-cap right here. Astral is really struggling to get anything going at this mid node. They were able to hold off for quite some time, won the first team fight, but that's just Team PZ. They lose a team fight and they're okay.
Phanoram's health bar just went so smoothly from 100 to 0. I've never seen something like that in my life. That was insane. Phanoram taken out. The stomp happened so quick as well. And now it's going to be a 5v4 in favor of this PZ team here, who have a 2-cap, now 23 points rather, in the lead here. 9 minutes, 48 seconds left in this matchup, and they're looking to start that containment if they can hold them out.
They're making a very big push right here. We already saw Nas blow chilled to the bone. Wasn't able to really land it on anybody in that corridor, making a push back up to mid. It feels like Team PZ pushes out, forces Astral back when they have the numbers advantage, and then Astral slowly pushes PZ back, and PZ just falls back into the mix of everything. Look at the health pools of Java now, able to cleanse those Connies with that mark. Thankfully, Muffin's under a little bit of heat as well. They're just going to be all forced back to this point. They will take this team fight. They will take all the points they can with this 2-cap for the time being. And look at the health pools. 3 members on the side of Astral getting fairly low. The MOA coming out onto Phanoram from Muffins. That's a perfect target if they want to mitigate any damage coming out here from Astral.
Yeah, and Phanoram still under fire at the moment. 40% HP. Does have that glint heal, so he should be pretty safe at the moment, with Muffins going down as well. They're looking to put so much pressure on that. Look at the surge there from Phanoram. Probably going to be closing that kill out, and now Java is going to be the new target here with 12k HP outside of that Reaper Shroud. Nos all over him. Everyone is all over Java, and he has nothing left. They take him out so quickly. Look at the downstate pressure from these guys.
Rebound and didn't use it right there when he knew Java was about to be taken down. I feel like maybe that came out at the last second. I doubt it. It looked like it was available for him. And Astral surging back here, going to be able to take a 2-cap. Good awareness from Chaith, knowing that Muffins is going to come right there off respawn. This is the I believe, 3rd time he's done it in this game here. So Astral taking the first 2-cap of the game here, down to about 50 points with 8:15 on the clock. And it looks like they're still pushing for more kills here on the beach.
Yeah, Phanoram very, very low right now. Everybody's jumping on top of Muffins, though, to try to get some peels for their teammate. And that's actually really, really good job from them. Paul trying to keep his teammate alive, but Toker's all over this once again, and Muffins is in trouble. 4 bleed stacks on him, and just in time with the County clear.
Picking up potentially the first decap of the game. No, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. Meanwhile, Wakey forced off the node at the keep, was 1v2'd by Java and K-Pud. Now going to get help from his teammates, but running around with Torment on him. Nice chill to the bone coming out there from Java. It looks like it's not going to finish him off just yet. Look at the Connies, though. They're continuing to be applied from this Team PZ, and it looks like Muffin's going for a decap over at the mine as well. Java taken into the downstate. Wakey still in the downstate. Wakey will get rezzed up thanks to Chaith and his function gyro, and it looks like Java will be cleaved out here. And Toker, another decap from him.
Yeah, great job there from Fanaram too, giving just the right amount of space for actually Chaith to get that double res with the gyro there onto Wakey. That is perfect for them, you know, making sure that everybody had to just go for Java there. They wind up getting that kill, trade it, and get Wakey back up and into the fight. So that's such a good play from them. Toker also getting that decap, really coming into this game right now. Muffin's getting incredibly low. K-Pud not very healthy either, although Zeus does get him back up. And Muffin's taken down here. Look at Astral everywhere, all over this body right now. They eliminate him. Actually, Noskok at 50% HP here. Zeus forced to leave this one, and K-Pud already kind of trying to wrap back over towards Wakey at the keep, and they are chasing these boys out of here.
We saw Paul attempt for Chieftain, knew that Toker was going to be around there. Actually, on the other side of the map now, Nas and Fanaram want that extra 25-point boost to get them back in this game. They will take the lead here. It looks like it's going to be 344 to 339 with 6:20 on the clock now. Coming down to the wire, mid was just decapped, so we got about a 6-point lead in favor of Astral now. As this team fight starts to progress forward, this is a 4v3 in favor of Astral here at mid, because Paul is watching out for Toker over at his home node. Probably not the wisest move. They need to know where Toker's at. Got to have good communication, but the decap from Muffin's gonna come out, drops the portal as well. He is gonna be a lethal threat at the end game now. He does have that portal available to pick it up once again in a matter of moments.
Yeah, but look at the pressure down at mid onto Java. Java was just in downstate. They picked him back up, but he is not looking any better right now as he gets dropped there. 20 stacks of bleed coming out from Nos, and they're trying to get the res once again. The stomp comes out from Wakey, and now Zeus and K-Pud are going to have to try to hold on with Muffins. Remember, Muffins does have that portal,
but
and they take it there.
They're going to bomb Fanaram now. Fanaram probably expecting one guy, probably not expecting the entire horde. The MOA actually coming out there with the Continuum Split. That's going to be a decap on the mine node, as we will see Team PZ eventually take this lead once again. Paul looked for Chieftain. He's going to be going for it once again here. He knows that where Toker's at. He knows where Fanaram's at. He can afford to get that 25-point boost. 5:10 on the clock now. One cap in favor of PZ, but it looks like K-Pud is under a lot of pressure. I'm not sure he's going to be able to make it out of this alive.
Yeah, and it looks like Muffins once again taking the little stroll around back up to keep. Zeus right now in a 1v1 versus Wakey, just trying to hold this point and make sure that it stays neutralized. We are seeing...
Oh, the 25-point boost. He's going to let his pet take him out.
Toker.
Oh,
man.
Toker not
we
there
hadn't
inside.
seen that one.
Oh,
man.
that could very well be game-changing at the end. If Toker had been there a second or two later to come in for the kill.
Java just obliterated and taken down there. Everyone from Astral just cleaving on top of this body. And remember, you can't ever be near Fanaram with a down body there, because he's going to be in Shira with that quickness just pumping. Toker on the point as well, trying to take down Zeus along with Fanaram, and Zeus is not looking healthy at all. 5v4 in favor of Astral right now, 29 points behind this PZ team, and Muffins just holding.
Muffins is looking for something there. He's looking for something he knows he can do. He's trying to get a decap there, and now I'm not exactly sure what Java's motivation to go over towards that henge node is. They know, okay, now they know what the motivation is. They had eyes on Toker, but Toker going to find himself in a 1v1 with Java. Not going to opt for that. We do have Svanir up in a matter of moments, if I'm not mistaken. That was taken a while ago by Astral. Still, I mean, this is 445, 416, 345 on the clock here. This is going to come down to the wire. They've got to pick up a decap, and it looks like Muffins is actually going to be the one to attempt to pick up this decap.
En route, though. Is he going to be able to make it? I don't think he's going to be able to make it. Muffins has got it once again. Muffins, give this man a medal.
What a decap. That is going to be game-changing. But at the mid node, it looks like Paul's taking out solo, able to keep himself up. No pressure, not enough actually from Astral, able to take him down. It looks like Fanaram comes through with the kill. They need to finish him off here. 40 points away from Team PZ taking this series, and it looks like they're going to pick up the kill. Astral needs to get something going here. They've got 3 on the clock. Svanir is available. They have to get a cap, though, if they want to win this game.
Yeah, we do see Svanir up, though, and Muffins sees Toker going for that play.
goodness.
And it looks like Toker tries to go for that a little bit there. They do get the cap, so they are going to be now about 38 points down here. So Muffins needs to be careful. Nos just trying to put some more pressure down.
Muffins here, that would be huge. But look at Paul off respawn. Paul will pick up a decap onto their only node. It doesn't even matter if Spawnier is killed. If he picks up this decap, that's going to be a 25-point boost, but it's not going to be enough because the decap from Paul. I think we're going to be having the first ever series here for a North American team to take down Astral in over a year and a half. They are 13 points away. Astral would have to get 2 kills,
though.
but 2 kills. 2 guys are down. Oh man, I don't think it's going to happen here. 10 points away.
Indecision all over the place. They are going to let that full cap happen, and with no one able to do anything about that hinge point.
PZ, Fanaram looking for a kill on the Swan Chieftain. That's not going to happen. It's going to be Team PZ taking down Astral Authority 501 to 487. The first series a North American team has ever taken off Astral since November 2014. What a win for Team PZ.
Man.
#1 overall seed for North America.
And down goes Astral, dude.
Down goes Astral. Team PZ undefeated, 7-0 this season, claiming that first place spot. Will be taking on TCG in the finals, while Astral going to be facing rank 55.
Yeah.
That is going to be it from us. We thank you guys for watching. Congratulations, as always, to the teams, and we'll see you back here on June 25th. Have a good night.